I'm not the enemy. Are you the enemy? Who is the? Are you the enemy? I'm not the enemy. Who's the enemy? I'm an educator, your historian, the unpaid advisor to government and opposition. I bring you songs of levity, party and social commentary. In other lands, I am a cultural icon, but due to my proclivity to expose the ills of my country, they designate me an enemy of the state. But it's my love for country that make me question the things I see going wrong, like the crime rate that keep on going up, that the PM says going down. Is he take a corrupt tip-off cop and made him the deputy? Between he and Edme, the police force can function effectively. Police used to work for 8 hours straight and went home to take a rest. Now this 4 hours on, 4 hours off, got the force in a mess. Is you who handcuff the police? Now they can't control the crime rate. So don't call me an enemy of the state. Anyone who critique your policies, you want their head on a plate. So tell me who's the real enemy of the state. I'm not the enemy. Are you the enemy? Who's the enemy? Tell me. I'm not the enemy. Are you the enemy? Who's the enemy? They tell me tourism is the lifeblood of the country. Still we keep increasing the budget to that ministry. But the more we spend on that industry, is the less result we do see. Now the whole country, it seems, waiting desperately till Marriott open its doors. 40,000 plus on pause. Can one hotel save us from catching hell? Oh well, but it's my love for country that made me question the deal they gave Royal P. A $400 million hotel with their own electricity. If we upgraded we power plant, they would buy the current from we. $20 million or more yearly to sweeten the treasury. Then they tell me both are resigning, he not taking another turn. I said a jump and prance as a good riddance, for there's hope for tourism. His performance in that industry got hoteliers desperate, yet he treats me like an enemy of the state. From 500 ships in 95, now 158. So tell me who's the real enemy of the state. Enemy. Are you the enemy? I'm not the enemy. Who's the enemy? Are you the enemy? Minister of Justice, oh, can you tell me why Angela Innes is not paid what the court decree? When she was making her contributions, you were nowhere to be found. Now she's grunting while you're buying up condominium. You also got Conti, a first female parliamentarian, still can't get her gratuity and pension. But it's my love for country that make me question this bold-faced hypocrisy. Your actions are simply degrading the women of this country. I hope that Jess and Henry Martin don't support your policy. For what goes around come back around, no matter whom you may be. These women serve with distinction and should get their due respect. Not scandalize and victimize. To this action I object. Your Mr. AG means all women must subjugate, and that makes you an enemy of the state. If you taking orders from Dougie, it means you eating from the same plate. So tell me who's the real enemy of the state? Oh, watch me now. I'm not the enemy. Are you the enemy? Who's the enemy? I'm not the enemy. Who is the enemy? Tell me. Almost every weekend is party, party, party. Soon we'll start the campaigning with Berries and Byron Lee, while the bell tolling at SSMC and tourism catching hell. One night at JN Fast costing more than a hotel. Then IMF tell Douglas Plain he must raise taxes again. So who got cocoa in sun? Look out for rain. Yes, it's my love for country that make me question the state of the economy. We could well use the 36 million you spent on the inquiry, and yet you take up the best golf course and sell out to Royal P. But I was not in favor of that one, and with him I must agree. You are the leader of this country, but to lead effectively, you must listen to suggestions from Calypsonia like me. If I'm the only one in the country to pinpoint your mistake, does that make me an enemy of the state? Sandra Byron no longer boos me, cause she knows I don't deal with hate. So maybe you're the real enemy of the state. The Jew is out on you. And you know what? You ain't come to the circus as yet. We're still waiting. Are you the enemy? Who's the enemy?
Yeah, Songs of the King Socrates, that one is called Enemy of the State. And that is what they try to make DJ Morrishaw these days, you know. They don't like folks speaking truth to power. I'm DJ Morrishaw, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul, St. Kitts. Yes, I'm still here in the Federation of St. Kitts, Navis, doing my thing and observing what is transpiring here in our beloved Federation. It's just about 5 minutes before the 6 o'clock hour, where we'll kick into gear and give you the happenings here in our beloved Federation. A lot is happening in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. We're getting ready for Carnival and a lot more. So we're going to be getting into the things. We're going to talk the things in a bit. But just before we get into the chatter, let me drop another track here. There's a song here by my boy Sacro some years back. He decided to sing this one on the DJs. I do not know how DJ Morrishaw get caught up in that one, but I'll see if I find this track for you, and see if I could drop this track there for guys like the man Alvin Brown and brother brother Daly Carlisle Powell. I know Tulu, they say Tulu into those things, so I don't think Tulu would be involved in that kind of stuff. But the King Sacro call this one they call this one I wonder if I should tell you the name of this one, eh? Boy, Sacro, you're the best. You're really the best by test. So we're gonna drop this second track by the King Sacro, and this one I'm going to let it speak for itself. This one is about the Mean Machine and those guys, not DJ Morrishaw really. So let's drop this track. This one is called Go Down. The King Sacro in rare form.
To my good friend Anne-Marie, merely a testimonial to my DJ friends out there. They know where they are. Check this. Boasting openly, you'd never So I asked him the secret. He said, last year you sang a song on the next DJ. And I don't want you quoting anything I say. You see, Sly J taught me but swore me to secrecy. So don't tell nobody you got this from JGP. Yeah. And this is the recipe. Anytime you can come up, go down. A woman love a man who really love to use the head.
Anytime you can come up,
Hey,
go
hey.
down.
The cannibal lover is the champion in the bed.
Anytime you can come up, go down.
Never ever leave your woman feeling incomplete.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
Don't tell her no when she asks, do you want to eat? Hey, Manje. Hey, Manje. Manje. Manje.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
If she knows she coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
She know when she misbehave, she get a good tongue lashing.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
When she know she coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
Hey, 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 hey. Go, go.
To the Lord, to the Lord.
I promise never to call them DJ's name, but I said, pardon me, Mr. JDP, but that's really not my scene. Cause my baby keeps telling me I'm like a mean machine. He said, I hope you don't mean that mean machine on 4th Street. Cause everybody know that man loves to eat. You see, he's the one who taught the thing to Sly J. Now, I hope you don't tell no one that JGP say it's a thing with them DJ. Now every time you can come up, go down. A woman love a man who really love to use the head.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
The cannibal lover is the champion in the bed. And
Anytime you can't come up, go down.
never ever leave your woman feeling incomplete.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
Don't tell her no when she asks, do you want to eat? Hey, manje, manje, manje. In French, that means to eat.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
If she knows she coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
Anytime she misbehaves, she gets a good tongue lashing.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
When she knows she coming home to the good, good loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
I wonder who next. It appears to me all this jockey have one philosophy. From okie dokie to I want the ace in tongueology. It was then the Buffalo Soldier told me flash. You could never hear he and Chico name calling that. Val from Sugar City walk in the brew. And the Morrishaw have 2 black belt in tongue full. Warren Bratcher's name calling too. And anytime you can come up, go down. A woman loves a man who really loves to use his head.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
The cannibal lover is the champion in the bed.
Anytime you can't come up, go down.
Never ever leave your woman feeling incomplete.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
Oh, tell her no when she asks, do you want to eat? Simply, manje, 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 manje.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
Cause she knows she coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
Anytime she misbehave, she gets a good tongue lashing.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
When she knows she coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
I'm so kidoki about that. Hey,
To the Lord,
you
to
think
the
it's Sugar
Lord.
Bowl alone?
Here's the Claxton. Naomi Ward. Aye, boy.
From Soca Master in Birmingham to New York's Bevan Springer. Them fellows that have about 10 women. Now I know the formula. While them fellows want to be like King Solomon. I'm quite satisfied with me one woman. making love, she does say, I'm still in control. And I don't want the reputation like Sugar Bowl. As the tongue fu king of the world, anytime you can come up, go down. A woman loves a man who really loves to use the head.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
The cannibal lover is the champion in the bed.
Anytime you can't come up, go down.
Never ever leave your woman feeling incomplete.
If you find you can't come up, go down.
Don't tell her no when she asks, do you want to eat? Hey, Manje,
Mighty Pat,
Manje,
the Lord Ranger,
Manje,
Bob Kent,
Manje.
King Tassio,
She take a lick and she keep on
Gabby
coming.
Bitch, she
Everything
know she
Power,
coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
Anytime she misbehaves, she gets a good tongue lashing.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
When she know she coming home to the cannibal loving.
She take a lick and she keep on coming.
The big JL, the big JL, the big JL. Your name call him.
Make everybody happy.
Aye, aye, aye.
She take a lick and she keep on coming. She take a lick and she keep on coming. She take a lick and she keep on coming. She take a lick and she keep on coming.
yeah, these Calypsonians, I love to take liberty with DJ Morrishaw, you know, and they're the biggest lickers out there, you know. They lick back and front, around the corner, uptown and downtown. Boys and girls, they don't care who they lick, but then they want to pick on the DJ, you know it is. Anyway, folks, as we continue with the program this evening, we're going to kick off with my boy Dwyer Astafan commentary for today. And following Dwyer's commentary, going to hail up a few folks online and get straight into the meat of the matter this evening. It's a no-holds-bar conversation this evening with you, the online viewership. And we're going to tear the plaster off, as they would say, and just let it rip. So just stand by for my boy Dwyer Astafan's commentary for today, Wednesday, November the 15th, as the party continues. As you know, we celebrated 3 years last Wednesday officially for this program. And this evening is a blast. We're going to kick off and we're going to tear into the things. We're going to be representing St. Kitts Nevis across the board. I want to say good evening to my boy, Carbo. As usual, Carbo is always on top of things. I got a phone call from Carbo this afternoon when I'm about to leave Bastille. And Carbo said, Morrishaw, I'm about to depart Navis. I have something for you. So no problem, I'll hang around. When Carbo came, Carbo had my bread nut ripe and ready to rumble, my sarsaparilla, and everything like that. So, Brother Carbo, if you're listening, don't forget to put your information in the chat. Don't forget, folks, to go across there by the King Carbo that you may get your goat water, fungi and fish and all of that good stuff. Green banana and fish. Fountain is the place to be on a Saturday afternoon, anytime, well, must say Saturday period, anytime from 10:30 in the morning. You check Carbo there at Fountain. We're going to drop some information later where you can check out the King Carbo. But that's my brother from another mother. And just want to highlight and thank him for his contribution. Stand by for Dwyer commentary for today.
Greetings. We have lots that we can discuss. There's a lot to follow up on from last week's discussion on the Bastille High School demolition projects and other government projects and the procurement process and the government quarry and SCASPA and a number of other areas of concern with regard to efficiency and maybe even integrity in the operation of some of these government entities. And we as responsible citizens cannot fall asleep on the job and allow inefficiency and mediocrity and corruption to rise. We have to drive those things down and out. We also can ask whether all of the public officials have filed their personal declarations under the Integrity in Public Life Act. The deadline was July. After that deadline, there were officials who had not filed. I am told, but I cannot prove it. But I think we need to know that some officials have still not filed. This thing is critically important. It is so important that failure to file on time without reasonable explanation attracts a fine of up to $30,000 and imprisonment of up to 5 years. If an official has not filed yet, he or she is unlikely to file again. And so we must file him out and fine him, or maybe worse. We have to set examples of the highest level of standards of service in this country. Otherwise, we are going to get nowhere, and we are already on the road to nowhere. So there are lots of things that we can discuss. But today, I want to discuss something different, but critically important as well, because it has to do with governance, safety, and the orderly running of the affairs of the country and good citizenship. 2 mornings ago, I was driving up the short street between Ram's Supermarket and their cash and carry at Bird Rock, heading to turn right to go towards Island Auto Supplies. That street is a one-way street, and every time I drive up there, I am very careful, because cars tend to calm down there against the law, against the traffic. They're looking for shortcuts. And my father used to tell me when I was small that shortcuts usually end up being long cuts. The drivers come down and they don't take their time. They barrel around the corner and come down. The police know of this problem. It's very dangerous, but the police have not stopped it. Now, on Saturday evening at about 6:45, I was driving east on Central Street in the area of National Bank, headed towards West Independence Square to make a turn right and down. There is a sign on that corner that states that there must be no right turn into Central Street from West Independence Square before 7 p.m. in the evening and after 7 a.m. At about 6:45, not one, but 2 vehicles made a sharp right turn from West Independence Square, coming in with gay abandon into Central Street and not driving particularly slowly. The police must know of this problem. Then there are the many drivers who tailgate to the point of coming right up under your vehicle's rear end, then turning away sharply to overtake, often headed towards vehicles that are coming from the opposite direction, some 50 feet away, fatally close. And those coming in the opposite direction are also speeding. People seem to have lost their heads, and the madness is manifesting itself on the roads. Nobody's slowing down. People come and overtake you at a roundabout. They come and overtake you because they can, and end up right in front of you, between you and the car ahead of you. This is crazy. This is reckless. This is foolishness. And the amount of near misses will, as we say, hot head. But we also know of the amount of hits and accidents. This recklessness, this brutish driving, this foolishness, and utter lack of consideration for safety, whether their own safety or other people's, or the property of people. This total disregard for the inconvenience caused and the anxiety caused to road users, plus the cost to drivers, because with all of these accidents, insurance rates go up, and cost to taxpayers, because when the accidents take place, the police, the court, the lawyers, ambulance, hospital, etc. are brought into the picture. Just because somebody chooses to be crazy and reckless and inconsiderate and be a brute and a bully on the road, cannot handle the power at his feet or her feet. And with more and more vehicles going on a road system, which is not growing in size, we already have a major challenge on our hands, made only worse by the largely unpunished, reckless and foolish driving that we are seeing. In addition, in a number of areas on St. Kitts, the roads are in bad shape, and dodging these potholes is a dangerous thing. Further, also in many areas of the island, roads are badly lit, and that increases the danger at night, especially given the reckless driving. As well, the sides of the roads especially in rural areas, are not properly marked. So it is sometimes difficult to make the difference between where the road ends and the side begins. These are problems that can be fixed with relative ease, Getting bad drivers off the road, making the road safer, and in getting the bad drivers off the road and putting discipline on the road, generating much needed revenue for the police and the country. Then we see people stopping their vehicles in driving lanes on the roads and highways, whether to have a chat or to run an errand. They don't care. Inconvenience and endangering the other users of the road. Sometimes I wonder when that day will come, when we will see road rage in St. Kitts, just like you see it on the TV in North America. I think we're fast approaching that. Then the amount of litter that can be seen getting thrown out of vehicles. It's a disgrace. Are we turning this place, which was once known for its pristine beauty and cleanliness, the place which Marcus Garvey described as our Garden of Eden, the place which was a little paradise, are we turning it into a litter hell? By the way, don't we have litter wardens? If so, are they being paid? And if they're being paid, have they been prosecuting people? Clearly they're not making a difference. Maybe they're afraid to do their work. So I would suggest, if we do have litter wardens, if any good ones are left, hold them, send home the rest. Set up a new system of litter wardens and put people like Eli X and Elvis Jamdown Manners as supervisors and leaders of the cleanup and litter abatement program in the country. You will see a marked difference for the better. These are men who have pride in their country and community and their people and want to see us conduct ourselves more cleanly, sanitarily, hygienically, and aesthetically. The police are also ex officio litter wardens. When was the last time a police officer issued a summons to somebody for littering? Then there are the derelict vehicles on the road and vehicles under repair, health hazards, security hazards. What are the police doing? But that's not all. What about the loud music being played in these vehicles, disturbing people's peace and tranquility, bursting our eardrums? And a lot of the content is violent and sexually explicit. And a lot of these vehicles carry children in them. And with all of that noise, how can these attention-seeking drivers concentrate properly on safety? How much stimulation can a brain take without being confused? What do you think the impact of all of this is going to be on our children? Then there are the motorbikers zigging and zagging through traffic, speeding and poppy-wheeling anywhere and everywhere, including right in front of police stations. No helmet, no proper footwear, endangering themselves and others. And speaking of noise, don't forget the noisy music blasting out of some of the stores in Bastia, trying to attract customers. What type of customers are going to go into a place where when they speak, they can't be heard? I walk far away from places like that. I would never spend my money in a place like that. But they're using noisy instruments, and that is illegal unless they have police permission. And if the police are giving permission for that, they should review that. They should not do it. It's noise and foolishness. You can get a picture as to how efficient, disciplined, and organized a country and its people are by observing what happens on its roads. And what happens on our roads does not paint a picture of organization and discipline. The police hear and see these things every day and every night, but the situation is getting no better. They are saying that in order to effectively police the roads, they need more officers and more equipment. Well, you may not be aware of this, but St. Kitts Nevis may have more police officers per capita than any other CARICOM country. So the solution perhaps lies less in the numbers than in the need for improvement in recruitment and training, improvement in working conditions, and improvement in professionalism, dedication, performance, and commitment by the people in these agencies. There are too many police officers doing non-police work. Too many of them are tied up going to court to present cases. These things affect duty rostering and have created potential conflict of interest situations in cases of junior officers working for senior officers or others who own or have an interest in private security firms. And a culture has developed whereby as soon as you get into training school, you are offered a job in these private security firms. And that has a toll on time and fatigue, and which in turn puts into question the priorities of such persons as they hold on to the secure government job with its free pension and do their other job, which they may look at as their main money maker. A lot of them take the government job for granted, and not just in the security agencies, but across the public service. My party is in, I ain't working, I don't have to work. I want a government job with a free pension. My party is not in, I ain't gonna work either. I'm gonna take the money and the free pension. Not everybody, maybe not even the majority, but too many, and that needs to be cleaned up. You either perform or you move or be moved. We have to be productive wherever we work, whatever we do. These arrangements need to be carefully and caringly regulated so that professionalism, efficiency, and morale do not continue to be compromised in our security agencies and elsewhere in the public service. But let me say this also. The standard of policing, as with everything else in a society, depends on the standards in the society itself. Education, social development, values, work ethic, discipline, loyalty, civic mindedness, etc. are not of the high standard in our country, and our security and other agencies, our job market, our business folks, all of us are products of this. So let us be honest. A deficient environment cannot produce an efficient outcome. Deficiency leads to deficiency. Efficiency leads to efficiency. What is so hard about that to understand? So in order to fix the problem, we have to go to the causes and man up and woman up and take the responsibility if we want to change our country for the better. Don't look to 11 elected persons. Look to the 50,000 of us. We have a bigger responsibility than them because we are the ones who elect them and reject them. Little sign of us going in that direction. Exactly where we need to go, we are not going. Meanwhile, let's get back to the roads and bring order to the roads. Every driver must have an email address or WhatsApp given to the traffic department. A camera system must be set up nationwide, and it must be working, not put up and go out of commission. And that system needs to be properly maintained. Lawbreakers love it when we build things and they're not properly maintained. And I am sick of this, and the country is suffering. When a vehicle breaks a traffic law, the camera picks it up and emails or WhatsApps a ticket to the owner. If he or she pays, then no police need to be involved. He pays, it's okay, but he loses points on his license, and the government collects revenue. He continues doing his foolishness, he can lose his license, and while he's doing his foolishness, the government is picking up revenue. If he does not pay the ticket within a certain time, then he's prosecuted. And if found guilty, he'd have to pay court costs, which would include police costs and any other costs. If he injures anybody, if it involves the hospital, all of these costs that accrue as a result of his action, he must be responsible to pay for as a matter of law. Simple. Simple. People have to start understanding that they cannot do as they like and get away with it. That is encouraging recklessness, disrespect, and irresponsibility. How can you build a society like that? Victims must be compensated. The hospital must be compensated. All persons who are injured must be compensated. The police must be compensated. Legal costs and other court costs must be paid by the perpetrator. You'll see how fast they pull up their socks. They will bawl and mumble and murmur and scream that drew killing them with all of these things. Better they pay that than they kill somebody. As I said, it's only when people have to pay that you're going to see any improvement. This freeness, you do free damage to people, you do free damage to things, you deface all of these things, you mash up. No, it must stop. So it is time for us to smarten up and take the running of this country, running of the government, and we the people take the running of it by ourselves as the most important element in the governance structure, because we hire and fire governments. We must take things seriously and responsibly. And as I've said before, if the roads are kept in order and under control, and the users are made to observe and respect the rules of the road. And remember, when you're doing that, you're going to be picking up things that you weren't looking for. Contraband, other criminal activities. Once those things are put in place, the country will be transformed for the better. The streets, the government, the private sector, the social sector, homes, churches, all of the above. Not every single one, but I'm generalizing. All of the above need to be cleaned up, to be disciplined, and to be brought to order. And that is my commentary for today.
Well, Brother Dwyer, thanks for your commentary for today. And in terms of the traffic violators and those things you're speaking about, I can feel your pain and I understand what you're saying. I support those things. However, everything has its flip side to it. I can say to you, Brother Dwyer, as part of the law enforcement system, there are some law enforcement officers that utilize their power and accuse people of false traffic violations to boost their stripes or to boost their ego or to get personal. I have experienced that in North America. I can tell you that there are police out there that I guess they're on the coffee break and they have to justify whatever time they was missing from the job. So they basically give the first person that comes around a ticket innocently. And I can say that to you, guys, without any water in my mouth, because I am in the system and I have seen it. And I have a serious problem with that. And I would hope here in St. Kitts that the officers that we have here, when the time comes where you have to summons people for speeding or any kind of violation, that you do it with due care, not because you're trying to make a place for promotion or trying to get stripes or get personal with people. I love the days when police officers used to police the community, used to get along with the folks in the villages. In my days, the police officers around the police station here in St. Paul's, basically, they know everyone in this village by name. Today, I don't see that kind of presence from the police anymore. There's a few police officers that still take the time out and communicate. And in this regard, I want to big up guys like Deputy Commissioner, Brother Henry, as someone who I reach out to from time to time since the COVID to get certain information. I realize that he's a lawman and a man of the people. Under the former administration, I had my doubts about Brother Cameron, as he was the face of the police department that report and the COVID briefing on a Wednesday evening. Seeing him in a different light now, I can say that the gentleman is about community, he's about people and helping. So I want to big up Brother Cromwell Henry, Deputy Commissioner, and I wish you a lot of love, health, and fun, and I hope that the rest of the force. Commissioner Sutton, you as well, I want to big up you guys to the way that you guys deal with community affairs. I want to big up my boy, Brother Aston Williams as well. It was good seeing him there on Monday evening. He had his doubts that I would reach across on the pitch to hang with those guys. I got there a little late, but it was good to get there, hang with Brother Jakey and the crew, Brother Gary and everything else. Well, it's about 27 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. 5:27 on the US mainland. So let me take some time out to say good evening to my boy there, Jetty Taylor. I think Jetty is somewhere over there in the UK. As usual, always give me a good laugh on a Wednesday evening. Good evening, brother Jetty, Iona Dore, Marcella Brown, Lee Wyatt, Kevin Wilkin, Kevin Chapman, Brian Foster, Annette Morton, Danette Fleming, my good friend there in Montserrat, Sonia Miller. How are you doing, Sister Sonia? Good to see you online. Chef Jeffers Lewis, Gigi Williams Keith, Adele McDonald, Kevin Hanley. Good evening, my brother. How are you doing? Gemini Nisbet, Monica Brown. Good evening. Barrett Diaz, Barbara Diaz, sorry. Sister Dietrich Spitfarrell, good evening. How are you doing? Craig Challenger, Brother Sugars, hope all is well. Nadine Douglas, hope all is well with your guy. Morris Williams, good evening. Yvonne Jeffers Day in the UK. Sister Yvonne Jeffers, Sister Millie, Sandra, hope you all are doing well. I want to take the time out. It would be after, no, it's not after midnight in the UK as yet, so I can still say happy birthday to my cousin there, Jerry Carty, Jerry Hutchinson there in Birmingham, England, celebrating birthday today, actually yesterday, 15th November, and Sister Sarah there in Montserrat over there in Lookout, who celebrated birthday yesterday as well. So folks are doing good. I want to say good evening to my godmother, Joyce, there in Florida as well. I got a call last evening, and it was such a funny call. A young lady is calling to tell me that I don't know who she is, but she wanted me to know that she loved me from birth and she loved me even more today and all this kind of stuff. And I am dumbstruck. I'm listening to hear the rest of the conversation. And she's telling me, you don't have nothing to say? I tell you I love you. I said, well, there's a lot of love in the air out there. Many people have told me they love me, but some of them who show me they love me, they end up hurting. So I would like to know who I'm speaking to. So she responded, well, you don't know me, but I'm your godmother. I said, well, if you're my godmother, your name is Joyce. I met you back in 1981, some 40-something years ago, and I haven't seen you since. And we had a good laugh because that is the situation. I met my godmother at the age of 15. She's now up in her 70s. Have not seen her since, but she's been trying to track me down. And I'm happy that she said that she wants to be in St. Kitts for Sugar Mass 52. So hopefully we can link one more time and get together. It's nice to know when you're not sure of your past and everybody wants to tell you about when you piss on your shoes, when you did not have a pants with no crotch and all this kind of stuff. When people telling you these things, it make you feel a certain way. But when you find someone who was there when you was born and could tell you how you was loved by your mother or your parents or your godparents or friends, and what a pretty and lovely child you were. It's a good feeling when you could get those kind of information, because today you got some people, they figure, well, you're not supposed to eat, you're not supposed to sleep. So they find the most dirty things to tell you about your life that they don't know. But it was good that my godmother reached out to me, and I look forward to meeting her. Met some good friends on Sunday as well. Came in on a cruise, had a good time. The Big Banana, I want to thank the Big Banana Tours for taking care of those people. I want to big up Sister Valicia Morris in St. Thomas, Carl Morris, my brother there, Sister Patsy Brown, Avon Brown, Ma, and Ralph and the crew. So right now, this week, I am bursting with joy because a lot of good things have happened this week. And as the year ends, I want to believe that the year is going to end on a high because nobody's going to kill my joy, right? I am thankful that God has given me the opportunity to touch base with people that I have lost over the years. And I didn't lose them to COVID. I didn't lose them to cancer. They're still alive and kicking, and is here to communicate with me. So I thank God for that. Good evening, Sister Tanya Powell. Hope all is well with you. Gwendolyn Skelton, Margaret Taylor, Marlene Pemberton, George Nisbet, somewhere around the world, Clayton Davis, Sister Beverly Morrishaw, Gwyneth Morrishaw, Greta L. DeCosta Williams, good evening, hope all is well. Celine Tobias, how are you doing? Tony Slater, Pearl Francis there somewhere in the St. Martin area, my brother there, Jeff Pemberton, Sandra Thompson, Angela Dorr, Angela Weeks, good evening, Anita Robinson. Oh, this list is long tonight again. My brother there, Brother Ivor Henry, the man Eustace P. Hendrickson over there in the Texas area, Ivan Maynard, Livingston Brown, Dave Mills, Delicious Nicholas Brown, and good evening, hope all is well. Olivia Foster David, Avril Dickinson, Chelsea Yura Libad, Tamika Salid, Leroy Carey, Elvia Foster, Judy Cornelius Webb, good evening, my sister there, Sister Pastor Brown, Taylor Brown, Marcia Smith, good evening. I hope all is well with you there in the Tortola area. How is the weather there in Tortola? How is my sister Esther Muckis and the kids doing? Hope all is well. Ingrid Daniel, Bernadette Tyson, Diane Morton, Kenneth Tyson, Philemon, Maritza Saran, Nigel Quick, the man Nigel Williams, Nigel McMahon, good evening. Elizabeth Zakers, Jessica Lewis. Well, there's a whole bunch of names here. Linda Batcher, I won't be able to get to everybody. Frankie Lawrence, Kevin Chapman, Kelvin Chapman. Whoa, it's just too many names. Hazel Claxton, good evening, my queen there. Everything is good with you. Edison Cozier. Well, just before I continue with all of those names, let me give a quick update before I get into the chatter. I know you guys know of Sister Dr. Janice Daniel, who made some history last December 12th when she defeated the Deputy Premier of Navis, Brother Jeffers. Well, Sister Janice Daniel has been showing some appreciation to her constituent throughout Navis. And apparently she's been doing some appreciation breakfast for the month of November into December. And actually, the first event took place on November 4th in Butlers. So I have the full schedule here. I'm going to run through it. The first event took place already on November 4th in Butlers. This coming Saturday is going to be in Brooklyn. All of this is on Navis, the sister island, Queen City Navis. November 25th is going to be in Camps. December 2nd in Fountain, over by Cabo area. And December 9th, it will be in Newcastle. If you need more information, you can call 665-1527. That's 665-1527, or 663-6864, 663-6864. That's their appreciation breakfast hosted by Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge. And then the NRP St. James presents the Victory Celebration on December 12th. Is at the Franklin Brown Community Center. Elegant Casual is $100 contribution, time 8:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. They say green, black, and white is the color of the evening. And for more information, you contact 869-663-6864. That's where your RSVP. That's 869-663-6864. Tickets are limited. If you plan to support the Victory Celebration, that's December 12th. It's going to be at Franklin Brown Community Center. Elegant Casual. Again, the colors green, black, and white. And the contact number there is 869-663-6864. In addition to that, we're going to be getting ready for Sugar Mass 52. So there's a lot happening in our beloved federation in terms of activities. So the Calypso tents already kick off, I understand. Everything is in full gear. So I hope that our communities are doing their utmost best to Be safe. Try to jam safe. Last Juve, we had a death. My cousin got injured in the Juve morning and eventually passed away. I would hope that we don't have that kind of atmosphere in this sugar mass. I also want to big up Carmen Catering Services. Carmen is a young lady I met that cooks very nice variety of dishes on a daily basis. During the week, she is right there, Shailene, on the corner across from the bus, the entrance to the ferry terminal in Bastia. And if you're trying to reach Carmen, she does also catering for events. You can reach her at 869-665-1494. That's Carmen Catering Services, 869-665-1494. And on Sundays, you can catch her right here in Boyd's Village at the bus stop, right across from the Ogaro's shop. And believe me, Carmen can do her thing. She's very good at variety of cooking and everything. I have tried her dishes, and it's very enjoyable. So I am saying to you guys, check out Sister Carmen and see what she can do for you. I am going to go to my next segment here, which is it's a clip by the former Prime Minister, Timothy Harris. You know, some of these guys in the opposition, they really have a lot of guts, a lot of gall. And for the life of me, I don't understand why Prime Minister Joe have not just give these guys a little quiet pill for a bit, because the things that I'm hearing Timothy speaking about, I mean, Timothy is asking for dividends to be paid. That was in there for 7 years. I don't recall the Team Unity administration ever paying dividends from the CBI to the citizens of St. Kitts Nevis. But they are now in the opposition, and they are calling for the current Labour administration to pay dividends. So when they was inside there, why didn't they pay the dividends? The double salary thing was always something that governments paid over the years if funds are there to do it, especially in election years. They use it as a gimmick. But to hear these guys now, after corruption for 7 years, fighting amongst themselves, trying to use the money to catch the minds of the people. People, don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Pay attention. This is Timothy. You better if he had gone sit down and shut his mouth, you know. It's better if he had gone sit down and shut his mouth. Because you're coming calling on for people to pay dividends. A 7 year delay, Timothy. Not one time you pay dividends from the CBI to the people of St. Kitts Nevis. And we're still trying to figure out where all of those monies that you all say you all approve, stimulus after stimulus after stimulus, and the country still not been stimulated. I could recall you stood up in a church, Timothy, and talk about you paid on some $800,000 on the vaccine, when we all know that the vaccine was free to third world countries. Up to now, you can't tell me where that down payment went. And you can't tell me that you didn't say you paid on, you made a down payment, because I got the clip, I got my receipts. I'm just waiting patiently for the next campaign, God Spare Life. I have them right there waiting on you. Are you too damn lying bad? Stop trying to play on the minds of poor people. So let's take a listen at Timothy.
People's Labour Party calls on the government to honour the double salary commitment to all government employees, including those on step, our pensioners, etc., and to indicate soonest when it will be paid. The People's Labour Party also calls on the administration to honour its commitment to pay CBI dividends.
So he is calling on the Prime Minister to pay CBI dividend when he was there for 7 years. Money going left, right, and center. Nobody sight fit to stimulate the little boys and girls out there in the street. But he's now coming talking about paying money. I don't know if you all remember this one, you know, but every time it comes to money, my mind goes back to this one. You all remember when Abdiel Samuel said that the people and the task force just volunteering their service, nobody getting an extra cent, and we must appreciate them and show respect to them because they're just contributing. There is no money being paid to them. Let's take a listen to Abdiel Samuels.
Who is taking care of a bedridden, ill mother, and you know, to be here every day serving the general public, we ain't getting an extra cent, we ain't getting nothing, just for the sake of service to country. I think that's highly commendable. You cannot want a sacrifice like that from any human being in any country. So I really want to highlight their sacrifice and contribution to our response.
So that was Abdius telling us in a response to some of the things that I was saying, that we hit in the task force with all the wrong they were doing. And we need to understand they're just doing it out of the love of the heart. Nobody getting an extra penny. But while they're telling us that, they sit down wherever they sit down and cook up a plan to come up with over $300,000 split amongst themselves in secret. And for those of you out there who might say that Morrishaw just spreading propaganda, you know, I want you all to hear them for yourself. Because this is Wendy Phipps, our former health minister, who is now the secretary for the PLP party, who want to get back into office to do worse than they did already. These crooks is who are telling us everything that's going wrong under the present administration. But listen to Wendy Phipps telling us that the coalition government, the Team Unity administration, which comprised of the three parties, the People's Action Movement, led by Sean Richards, PAM, the Concerned Citizen Movement, who is the present NIA government in Navis, whose premier is Mark Brantley, who is currently the leader of the opposition in the federal parliament. Timothy Harris, the leader of PLP, who is in the opposition as well. All three of them was in government. And according to Wendy Phipps, everyone was in there, in that meeting, except the Attorney General and someone else who were missing. Every one of them was at that meeting when they was discussing how they're going to do this honorarium in secret. Well, if you're going to do it in secret, you're thieving. If you think you deserve an honorarium, you should be able to talk to the general public and say, listen, COVID was a rough period for everybody, and we want to give an honorarium to the members of the task force. And it's the small people who was out there doing the work on the front line didn't get no honorarium, you know. It's them who did not lose a day pay. Because every one of those ministers of government, every one of them on that task force get their full salary throughout all of those years of COVID. But the people on the street, the poor man in the avenues and the byways in the Federation, who they claim they approved stimulus packages to give, that stimulus money never reached to the poor man, never reached to the ordinary man. And what is bothering me in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, what is really bothering me, is why every time these governments in St. Kitts Nevis, why every time they find money to give out, is people who got money already getting it again. Why the average poor man who is not working, who is struggling, who can't afford to get a good job because of their education level or their minor, whatever, opportunities not hitting them, why there is no way to touch these poor people? When you talk about double salary is coming to people who is working. People already have it. Not the poor boy and girls on the street that not working. And this is where my problem is. I don't have a problem if the government have money and they want to give it to the citizens of St. Kitts Nevis, but they need to find some of which in the poor man on the street. The Nile, the Leons. You understand? The poor men on the street, the private citizens, as Carver would say, the small businesses that are suffering. This is where I want to see them find a way of giving money back to poor people. Not to some of them, like some of them in Navis getting 2 salaries annually, you know, from the federal government and the local government. They're getting double salary, you know. It's put for them. But what about the poor man in Navis, down Charlestown or Fountain? Wherever a Navis who is not working, where is their double? Where is their centimus, like my grandmother used to say? Christmas come and want a centimus. Where is the centimus for the poor man? The school kids. You got parents have 4 and 5 kids in school. No fathers, fathers with no mothers, for whatever reason. They need help. So when you are calling about this double salary and this, I don't have a problem with it. Look, let's be reasonable. Let's look at our community. It takes a village to raise a child. That's the way I was brought up. So let's take a listen to Wendy Phipps.
On the 10th of January, every single cabinet member, save for the Honorable Attorney General, was present at cabinet. When that agenda item came up for that meeting, and I recognized that it was going to be the next item for discussion, I recused myself from the cabinet meeting because I knew that in addition to the persons who were being proposed for an honorarium, the names of Vincent Byron and Wendy Phipps were on that list. And it was the appropriate thing to have done to exit the room so that I do not influence a discussion in which the outcome would more than likely see me being a beneficiary for an honorarium. After the matter had been discussed for about 15 minutes, I was called back to the cabinet room and we joined the meeting, and at that point I would have been informed of the cabinet's decision. By the 21st of January, acting on the instruction of the cabinet secretary, who would, according to her practice, send the cabinet decision of that nature to the office of the financial secretary, the payments were made to the members of the task force. The payments were done rather discreetly, right in this very building, on Friday, the 21st of January, with a senior official from the Ministry of Finance being present to present and to have signed for them the same beneficiaries who were asked to walk with an ID. Now, as I said, that was January 21st. February 21st came, no leaking of anything. March 21st came, no leaking of anything. April 21st came, no leaking of anything. And now we are down to the 31st of May, and yesterday that happened. I do not want to surmise or to second guess or to try to figure out who did what and why. But what I do know is that cabinet documents are privileged documents. People who sit in a cabinet have to take an oath of office before you can assume any type of role in the cabinet. What was done yesterday, and to a certain extent I can only say that it was done in retaliation for my statements last Friday, because the graphic that I saw only had one person's picture on it, and it was mine. But my position is that if you want to take issue with a minister of government over a payment that that minister of government receives, you have no business whatsoever compromising senior civil servants in that process. What I saw yesterday had all of the names of all of the beneficiaries, plain as day, and I do not know what was the aim of all of that. Nobody on the task force stole any money. Nobody on the task force begged to have an honorarium, but they were duly presented with an honorarium. This type of information being circulated on social media doesn't help anybody. And what it does is engender further distrust in terms of your access to government, especially when matters have to come before the cabinet. So the average person might be out there wondering right now, what happens to me if, for example, like the example I gave you earlier, of 44 businesses applying to the Ministry of Trade for relief, for fiscal relief, to get their businesses up and running or to relieve some of their operational cost. What is to happen to those who are still in the process of sending in their applications? Are they supposed to now feel threatened or afraid at being exposed even to their competitors, for example, which is serious, that something as simple and which is their entitlement to access as an application for fiscal incentives in the past might very well find itself on social media. So I think sometimes when we do these things, the person or persons who are responsible, we need to take time and think about the implications for everybody. And I will end on that note, and I will pray that as we move forward, we would recognize that social media serves a good, but it also has its bad sides. But let us continue to try to use it for the good that we can get out of it. We are a people who have come very far, and for what I have just explained, it really sinks to a new low, and we...
Yes, Sister Wendy, it sinks to a new low when you all have to go in secret, a whole cabinet of ministers under the Team Unity administration. It sinks to a new low when you all have to go in secret to give yourself some 15,000, 27,000, whatever thousand, when you all did not lose a DP, while citizens of St. Kitts Nevis lost their work for that entire period, 2 years or more. Then unemployment. Curtis Cook and these people lose their job at TDC. People die from COVID because of your slackness, because of your double standard. Some people could come in here, even though they test positive for COVID, they was allowed to put on a plane by making a phone call. This I know for a fact. People coming here without a test, while you're telling DJ Morrishaw, without a test, 72 hours prior to departure in New York, and without submitting an online application, and without you sending me a letter approving me to enter the Federation, I couldn't board a plane in New York. These are the things that you all was doing to people. Many people missed their flight in Miami because they did not get back an approval letter from you all. They have to go back home. They have to start all over again because some people cannot find a COVID place in Miami where they can get the test done. You all was not accepting rapid tests, only PCR tests, which take a couple of days. You all did a whole hack job on the people. People lost thousands. You all put the Morrishaw to hell. So yes, when you are going to come and tell me you are going to take over $300,000 of the people, the taxpayers' money, and secretly split it amongst you yourself, you tell me that you all are thieving. That's what he told me. If you guys had done it in the open, I would say, okay, fine. And I would question it still. Because those stimulus monies that was approved still have not reached to the people who should have received them. Still did not up till today. People are still waiting to get their stimulus. Many people here in the village of St. Paul's have spoken to me about that. And the lies continue. And I want to know, you know, I'm going to go straight across to my sister island, Navis, because I want to know what is in the minds, what is in the brain of the people in Navis. Because when I'm speaking, I go across to Carbo and I sit down with Carbo. People come in and they talk to me and I'm asking questions. I'm asking the leader of the NRP questions. Why they're not doing this, why they're not doing that. And they're telling me Navis people don't do this. Navis people, this is how they operate. When Navis people, if you're going to continue to operate the way that you're operating, you will never get rid of the wickedness over there. This premier you guys have over there lies so much, he forget his own lies them. And a regular, take a listen for yourself. This is the water issue.
On the issue of water, let me just say quickly that the ministry has engaged the services of Mr. Skip Hoag, H-O-A-G, and he comes from an entity called Bear Rock Consulting, B-E-A-R, Bear Rock Consulting, and that is an entity in the U.S. He's currently on island.
Can you provide an update on Bear Rock Consulting following an announcement a few months ago about the NIA's involvement?
So the Bear Rock Consulting?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm not familiar with Bear Rock Consulting. B-A-R-E?
BEAR.
I'm not sure. Bear Rock Consulting doesn't ring a bell for me. I wonder, is that the water?
Yes, that.
Oh.
So the premier comes on his press conferences month after month and just rabble and throw out things. And the journalists, news media, whatever you all want to call them here, they gobbles it up. Thanks to this young lady from Van Radio, who followed up on a statement that the premier made 2 months prior, where he's giving an update about the water situation in Navis, that he engaged someone from a US entity, BRAC. But he knew he was lying, so he didn't have to remember that. But the premier need to start taking notes of his lies. And remember, when you tell lies, this is not back in the days when there was nobody recording. When you're having your press conference, JefroyMorrishaw recorder stays running. And I got my technicians to dissect and cut what I want. You understand? This is why I can tell you I'm still waiting on the quantity surveys that you say we're supposed to be getting in October. We're in November. So take a listen, Brother Brantley. Premier Brantley, I am waiting for your update on this particular clip.
In terms of the hospital project, I had hoped today that I would have had an update, but I do not. And the reason I do not is because we are still waiting on some quantity surveys that are to be done. We had hired and paid for those to be done by a professional on St. Kitts. Suffice it to say that that professional has taken the money but not delivered. And so we have been forced midstream to change course. I'm told now that we have outsourced that activity to an entity in the US, and I hope that I should be able to come back to you in short order with an update on that. And if not myself, then the Minister of Health should be able to come with an update. If that update comes prior to my next press conference, we will share that update.
So I'm still waiting for that update because the hospital wing, from what I understand, the premier said nobody would do any work in there for the year. I was on Navis. I went up there and did a live broadcast from the hospital wing. I could hear the hammers in there beating. Unless it's Jumbie, they got in there beating hammers. Work was being done in there. I know they said sometime back, when you go Navis, you don't eat fish with head on them because when you dig the fish winking at you. So I don't know if they got fish in that hospital wing. But I know I heard hammers beating. Unless fish could beat hammer, Mr. Premier, I can assure you that work has taken place in that place since. But I'm going to stick with Navis because my boys there and the Target program Saturday afternoon. Brother Daly, Kelvin Daly, my boy Tulu, and Brother Hensley Daniel were having some conversation. And I log on, and I want to say to Kelvin Daly, Tulu, Carlisle Powell, and Hensley Daniel, I know you guys mean well for Navis. And I know you guys are trying your best to keep things in the air. But from my perspective, with everything that is happening on Navis, you guys are blaming the Prime Minister, the AG, the NGOs, and everybody else on St. Kitts for not coming to Navis rescue. Well, gentlemen, I have said this publicly, privately, and I'm going to say it again tonight. If Navis people is not willing to get up and do their part to get rid of Premier Brantley and the CCM, if you are not willing to write the necessary letters, to take to the streets, to go down, like I suggested, to Church Street on a Monday when there's cabinet and present yourselves as a people, who you all expect to jump up and fight for you all on Navis? JefroyMorrishaw is the only crazy one doing it. And I'm doing it because I believe in human rights across the board. We started a campaign during the federal election. And even before the federal election, when 3 of our citizens got arrested for carrying a placard in 2021, right and Keon and Church Street, and people was tear gas by the former administration with Timothy Harris as the Prime Minister, Mark Brantley as the Foreign Minister, Sean Richards as the Deputy Minister, and all of them. None of them objected to what Timothy did. Tear gas in our people. Now are you talking about PLP this, PLP that? Well, you all want to get tear gas again? These people had no respect or no remorse or no love for the people in the Federation. All they're concerned about is their transactional arrangements, their corrupt behaviors. They give people who they want to give money to, and who don't support the nonsense have to suffer. They turn up the screw, they turn up the pressure on DJ Morrishaw because DJ Morrishaw was calling out the wrongs. When I listen to my boy Ian Patch's Libert come on a Monday night and a Thursday night talking in nonsense, he talking. Ian Patch's Libert was the ambassador to the United Nations, representing St. Kitts Nevis, where they're concerned about human rights, and they too have the questions, you know. They too have their problems there at the UN. But the bottom line is, the United Nations is a place that deals with human rights and humanity. And when our citizens was arrested for carrying a placard and tear gas, Patches was numb. Patches had nothing to say. Patches had nothing to say. And all my efforts to speak to Patches went ignored. My good friend, I thought was a good friend, Alva Pemberton, ignore me. And DJ Morrishaw decided via this broadcast that I will go down there by myself and I will demonstrate and bring attention to what's happening in St. Kitts Nevis. A few people decided to come down and support me. And we had the rag paper here, the St. Kitts Nevis Times, along with other citizens. Instead of them give us credit for trying to bring awareness to the wrong that was being done to the citizens in St. Kitts Nevis, they were cussing me. Oh, I gone on to the mission by myself. Oh, only 7 people, less than a dozen people. And all kind of nonsense. They had to say on social media. Some of those same people that was attacking me on social media, attacking Dr. Joe, say what he wanted to be leader of Labour and he can't win the seat. Today, I see them in pictures hugging up and grinning with Dr. Joe. Them same people who was hugging up Timothy that was doing wrong to our citizens, and they were cussing Dr. Joe, cussing Labour. Some of them said they would never vote for Labour. They cannot vote for Labour no matter who is running. But today, they're up in Dr. Joe's face. And Dr. Joe smiled with them, you know. I don't tell Dr. Joe already, you know. That smile you got on your face, there is certain individual who is capable of smiling with you and put a knife in your back. There are certain people that is capable of smiling with you and put poison in your food. Be aware of the scorpions around you, the snakes around you, Mr. Prime Minister. As you're having fun with them, have your fun with them. But I am telling you, they're only waiting for the opportunity to take you down because they don't have no love for Labour. DJ Morrishaw have love for country. Doesn't matter who running the country, whether Labour or whoever, as long as Timothy Harris, hear me again, as long as Timothy Harris does not see the light of day to get back in any government that runs this country in the future, DJ Morrishaw is good. My mission then was anybody but Tim, and my mission will continue is anybody but Tim. Them corrupt behavior will not fly again as long as I have health in my body. Not Timothy Harris. So you could keep come back and forth. I tell you already, you know, we could sit down and play a game of domino. We could have a drink. I don't mind paying for the drink. But you, as Prime Minister, being in a government in this country in the future, no, it's not going to happen. Not under my watch. Not as long as I have health and strength in this body, Timothy. So you got a choice. You want your PLP to stand a chance to get into government? Come out. Let other people who got credibility get into those positions and run, because you don't stand a chance. And I'm saying tonight, you know, straight to my boy, Craig Tuckett. Tuckett, partner, I had a lot of respect for you. A lot of respect for you. I didn't lose it. But I am questioning, how could you know who Timothy is? I'm talking about your deputy chairman for a party with such a corrupt individual. Such a dismal failure for our federation. I'm not going to be one of those people that sit here and said there was no good that was done, you know. Every government that had the helm of this country did some good. But the bad outweigh the good. The bad outweigh the good. So I'm going to give you a chance to listen to the entire program on Saturday, because I am of the view that while Brother Daly, Brother Tulu, and Brother Hensley is touching the points that need to be touched, what they're not doing is empowering the people of Navis to get up on their feet, get up off their ass, hit the streets, or do what's necessary to get rid of CCM. We talking on social media like this, we talking on radio, not gonna change nothing. That is why Premier Brantley had no problem going into the NIA Assembly to try and change up things with the Freedom of Information Act. He feels comfortable that he can do that because you are not going to go across there and stop him. You are not going to go across there and demonstrate. You all need to get up off your backside when the next time come around for the second reading of that thing, and make sure you're all over there by the assembly before they get there. When they walk in inside, let them see you with your placard. Let them know you are dissatisfaction with what is taking place, and you are not going to stand for it. That's what you all need to do. Not getting on your program and cussing the NGOs and Dr. Drew and the AG and everybody who is not coming to help you. Your house on fire, try save your house. Don't wait for your neighbor to come because your neighbor not studying you, and the neighbor house might get burned down to you now. Because what is happening in Navis right now could very well happen in St. Kitts. Whatever is taking place in Navis now could very well happen in St. Kitts. And that is why I'm going to speak out now. I'm not going to wait till later. Because no government should have the opportunity again ever to do what the Farmer Team Unity Administration did, you know. Oh, by the way, let me give you all some quick update. You know, I was looking for the AG. He was missing in action. Well, I found the AG over the weekend, you know. And I got to give him some credit. The AG have been working. He has been on the job. So, according to the information I got from the AG, the electoral office matter, they are way advanced. It's just about getting the right people in place to work in those offices, but they are doing the work. And I could even give a better update. I attended a caucus on Saturday with the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister too said, and I'm going to hold the Prime Minister to everything he's saying now, because what he's saying is sound good, and I want to see it happen. So when they give me these timelines, you know, I got to put them in my phone and hold their foot to the fire. But according to the Prime Minister, the electoral reform, the overall operation, electoral office, boundary changes and whatever, boundaries adjustments, everything will be completed by the anniversary date of 2024. So put it on your calendar. Come August 5th, 2024, the electoral office overall, the boundary changes and everything else should be completed by the 5th of August, 2024. That's the date I got. That's the date I'm working with. That's the date I'm going to hold the Prime Minister's foot to the fire with. Because I don't want to hear no more court matter. Remember, Premier Brantley took the former Labour administration led by Dr. Douglas to the Privy Council, and that matter was overturned. So we want to make sure we hold their foot to the fire, that things is done properly this time. So I am happy to report that the work at the electoral office is well on its way, and I look forward to the end result of that, where everybody can be comfortable. But there's a caveat to what I'm saying, you know. I'm still holding the Prime Minister on a leash, because while we're talking about 2024 for the electoral office and everything to be done, I am looking to have election in Navis before that, you know. So we might have to fast track the electoral office matter, but leave that for now. If you people of Navis get up off your all backside and do what you all need to do, hit the streets, stand up to Mark Brantley, elections will be in 2024. You all cannot sit down in your house and change what is going on. So let's take a listen to the on target fellows and let's see where we go from there.
Speaks to what? Giving the Premier the power to appoint the third member of the commission. Giving the Premier the power to appoint the third member of the three-member commission. You remember the Premier already has the power to appoint one. The Deputy Governor General has the power to appoint one. And the leader of the opposition has the power to appoint one. So everything nice and balanced. Because of this impasse about the leader of the opposition position, the Premier said, you know what, the easiest thing to do, let us amend the Constitution, let us amend the ordinance and give me the power to appoint the third person. Trust me, I will get somebody I like. Trust me. You know, that's easy thinking. You guys don't trust me to deliver. Okay?
So, what Brother Dale is explaining there about this good governance audience or whatever they call it there in Navis, Freedom of Information Act. This matter was passed in the federal cabinet. Whatever is taking place in the federal government supersedes whatever happened in the local island administration. So why would Mark Brantley, Premier Brantley today, because there's an impasse with the opposition leader matter in Navis, why would we trying to get some kind of legislation passed for him to appoint the person that the leader of the opposition should have the right to appoint? It's a very simple fix, you know. If Mark Brantley, if Premier Brantley want to do something gentleman-like and want to fix the problem, basically is to kill that matter in the NIA and let everybody deal with the laws that is in the federal cabinet, in the federal government. Those good governance agenda cover St. Kitts and Nevis. There's no need for two different laws. And this is what the people of Navis should be demonstrating about. Take it to the parliament in Navis, take it to the NIA assembly. Whoever is leading those meetings, whoever is over there running the assembly, let them know we don't want to see this nonsense. Let's deal with the Constitution. The federal law supersedes what we have here. Let's deal with the federal law. Since we cannot fix the problem in Navis, let's deal with the federal law. Simple as that. In cricket, each individual clubs, they have their rules. But if there are rules that function in the way they should, they go back to the ICC. When you go to run meetings, you know how people run meetings. You know, a meeting is standard parliamentary procedures. But if there is anything that is missing, you know where you go back to. There is no need for all of this nonsense that Mark Brantley is doing, Premier Brantley is doing, but it's you, the people of Navis. I want to say you, I mean all of you. Not just Carlisle, not just Daly, not just Tulu, not just Hensley, not just Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge. All of you on Navis is allowing Premier Brantley to do what he's doing because you all are weak. I calling you all weak. My boy Patrice Nisbet, all of you over there is weak. I'm calling you all weak because you all is too quiet. The entire Navy should be stamping up in this from this first reading. In the first place, that reading should have never taken place. And whenever the second one comes up, you all should never allow it to go through. And if you all do, you all are weak. And I cannot help you all if you all can't help you all self. I can fight with you. I cannot fight for you. So I'm speaking to you all plain, like it is tonight. Let's continue listening to the target. You all need to get up off your backside and do your work. Represent yourself. I am here for you. I am here to fight with you. But get up off your backside. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear about it. You, the people of Nevis, need to get up and stand up to Mark Brantley. Do not harass the Prime Minister. Do not harass the NGOs. Do not harass the Attorney General if you all are going to stand up and fight. I guarantee you, if you all stand up for what is right, the Prime Minister, the NGOs, and the Attorney General, they have no choice but to hear what the people are saying. The people employ a government. It's not the other way around. The government does not employ a people. The people employ a government. It's time for you to get up and off of your lazy backside and do your all footwork. That's what the Morrishaw telling you.
The other proposed changes, two, is the fact that you no longer have to disclose, or shouldn't have to disclose, any attending documents to go with your filing.
That's the second amendment.
That's the second change. All right. So if you have a bank statement, if you tell me you have 100,000 in bank, you don't need to send a bank statement with it. Now, here's the thing. I spoke to a friend of mine who has to submit. Just today, I spoke to a good friend of mine who has to submit because of his position. He has to submit to the Integrity in Public Life Commission. He's you know.
You have friends in high places.
Yeah. I got more friends in low places, believe me.
Hi.
But he tells me, listen, because of his position, to submit and the number of bank accounts he has to submit 3 bank statements. He would have to submit at least 3 bank statements, each costing $100. He thinks it's unfair for him to have to go through that expense. So I said, but wait a minute. But you are in an organization that brought you in to be a part of that organization. And therefore, because of that, is the organization should be paying?
So reasonable to me.
Is the organization should be footing that bill? You are submitting because of your relationship with this organization. So the organization by right should be paying to get those bank statements, to be a part of that package to go to Integrity in Public Life. All right? It seems simple to me. But that was his objection and his belief that this part of the amendment, we are off track. We are not off track. The reason being, again, you can get your organization to pay for it. If the reason why you're submitting is because you are working for them, let them pay for them. Second thing, right? It'd be easier in speaking with the past commissioner to have 80 plus reports to look at annually. 80 plus persons have to submit.
What?
Right? And just not ministers, about 80 people in all, just in Navis alone. So his argument is, well, why do you have to submit all these documents? The commission can investigate what I put down is true. Sounds logical. Until I brought up the idea or the point, and the fact is that Integrity Commission doesn't have the manpower to investigate anything. You have 80 persons submitting. That 80 times 10 different pieces of documentation per file, that's over 800 pieces of information you got to verify. Piece of documents you got to verify. It wouldn't be easier to submit all and have the commissioner sit and look at them in a quiet room without sending out investigators to National Bank, investigators to Development Bank, and all wherever else you need documentation. It makes no sense. Have the complete file available to the commissioners. Let them sit and look at the document in your own deliberate time and make a decision, right? So the office has been woefully underfunded, understaffed, and so, you know, people must understand this work is important. If we are indeed set in the belief that integrating public life is meaningful, then we need to spend the deliberate funds, the funds required to make the operation, make the office operational.
But Kelly, you made the point. You say if.
You see, again, Brother Daly, parliamentary procedures is across the board. It doesn't matter which country you go. And if you have anything missing that you're not sure about, you have to follow the Robert's Rules of Order when you're conducting certain things, right? Why are you guys talking about finding funds to operate an office in Navis? You already have the federal government has passed this law. Freedom of information, public integrity life, everything is already there at the federal level. Premier Brantley, the leader of the opposition and Premier of Navis, supported the good governance agenda at the federal level. He supported it at the federal level. He also challenged them that nothing gonna happen. Because he know in Navis, you guys not standing up to anything, you all giving him a blight. Everything you do, you all give him a blight. We'll wait till the next election. If you have a child in your house that constantly violate your rules in your house, eventually the child become the boss of the house. If you got a daughter that going out there doing a lot of wrong, and every time you try to discipline that child, they get a tantrum, and you kiss them and tell them, okay, I'm sorry, go and hang out with your friends, whatever. Eventually that child become the boss of the house. You all have let Premier Brantley get away with so many things over the years that he keep trying. He's gonna keep got it. You know the saying, you give them an inch, they take a yard. You give them a yard, they take a mile. All of these things that have happened in Navis, the hospital wing, that's supposed to cost $6 million. In 2017, Premier Brantley them give you all a promise that for $19 million, the job gonna start in 2017 and it'll be completed in 2019, 24 months later. We don't pass that kind of money long time. We in 2023, 6 years later, last year, December 2022, for the local election, they paint up the building and tell the people hospital soon open. We broke the story right here in this program. That is only a shell. Inside is painted and the outside to fool people. A lot of them leave America run down from all over the place. So they have a nice brand new hospital. Go look at the hospital. It's a shell on the inside. When that building finally will be able to be used, they're gonna have to paint it again. Waste of money. You, the Nevisian people, you have the power. You live there. Are you guys happy with where you are? The state of affairs, Navis? This premier traveling from New York to Dubai to wherever he got to go. This man should not feel comfortable to travel in and out of Navis with no smile. He should not be able to walk on the street of Navis smiling. The premier is supposed to be afraid to walk on the street of Navis. And I'm not talking about hurting him physically. I'm talking about what he's doing to the people of Navis. No one should give him comfort to walk on the street of Navis. He needs to resign. And his cabinet members is just as bad as him. So if he's not doing what needs to be done, put pressure on them too. Get rid of all of them. That is the idea. All of them are corrupt, so get rid of all of them. If they're not going to be able to shape Premier Brantley, then get rid of all of them. When you hear about the amount of money spent here and there, the amount of unfinished project, look at the geothermal project. If you all was following the election, the campaign that Premier Brantley was telling us that the geothermal project was ready to go. The only thing that was holding it up is that the former Prime Minister Timothy Harris refused to sign a letter for the CDB. That's the impression he gave us, you know. Once the letter was signed off, everything is ready to go. When Dr. Joe called his bluff, you know. Prime Minister Joe called his bluff. Prime Minister Joe signed the letter. The letter went off. The latest thing I'm hearing is how much of a million it was supposed to be is not what it is anymore. And people got to double check, and people have to background check, and people have to this. We have to now acquire land to traverse and water. But all of those things, you could have tell us that before. So when you hear Ian Patches Liebert and Dwyer Astafan and them talking about geothermal may never be realized in 10 years in Navis, they're not lying. In 2013, I understand they were supposed to hit the switch to start the plant. The amount of work that have to be done prior to any meaningful work to be done at geothermal might not happen in my lifetime. Geothermal will not be recognized in the Labour Party first term. Geothermal will not be realized in this current term for Premier Brantley, whether it's shortened or whether they go to the full length. It's another gimmick, it's another lie. The realities are what they are. So I'm saying to you, the people of Navis, Kelvin Daly, Carlisle Powell, Tulu Weeks, Enzi Daniel, use your all mouthpiece to get the people on the streets, off the ass. Let them know you all mean business. Blaming the NGOs, blaming the Prime Minister, blaming everybody else except yourself, not going to get the job done. You need to get up and make it happen. So let's continue listening.
And my own position is that I do not believe the CCM government has any interest in integrity. I was listening to and I've heard on several times on this, in relation to the naming of the third person. Why doesn't he take a page from Mia Motley's book, the Barbados Prime Minister, who says she doesn't think she should have all the power there. She thinks that she should invite 2 persons to be senators from the opposition, even though the leader of the opposition said he's not interested. Then she went on further to say that she shouldn't appoint everybody to the Electoral and Boundaries Commission and to the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. At least Mayor Motley, with all the seats scale.
Yeah, but she was going in the right direction.
Right direction.
And her intentions were noble. But she was rejected by the leader of the opposition. And the leader of the opposition said, no, we don't want such.
But she proceeded.
We need a different procedure. No, we need a different method to deal with this. And so what ultimately happened? The power was put in the hand of the president. And the power of the president is final. So the president selected
the 2
members opposite, and also appointed members to different commissions. So it was ultimately left to the president
but also
to use the powers of her office, or I don't know if it's a man or woman.
A woman.
To appoint the senators, right? So even though the offer by Mia Motley was generous and not self-serving, the opposition felt, nah, we don't like this, because it may come back and haunt us sometime in the future if the role is reversed, or it might not be so generous.
It was the same thing.
Let us move to a different method. So the Governor General, the Prime Minister, that they went and changed the Constitution. They made a constitutional amendment to give that power to the President of Barbados to name the senators and also to select commissioners on these different
and you know, she selected people who were friendly to the opposition.
Right. All right, so here we are. That was the second constitutional amendment. Then we spoke briefly about the third one some time ago, reducing the terms from 5 to 3 years.
Madness.
All right, so that's basically the 3. Now I want to read something for you. Page 21. The same book that Duke said I don't have.
Are you competing with him with reading?
On page 21, part 4, item 38.1, annual reports and estimates. And it reads, the Commission shall in each year and not later than the 31st of January prepare and forward to the Minister a report of its activities during the previous financial year. Shall, including a statement of its accounts audited in accordance with Section 37. 38.2, a copy of the report together with the auditor's report shall be laid before the Navis Island Assembly. Shall be laid before the Navis Island Assembly.
Not me. Shall.
Clear as day.
Brother Daly, again, you guys have the Constitution in your hands. You guys knows what is required. It was not done. It is a violation of the parliamentary procedures by the Prime Minister, by the Premier and his cabinet. Coming on social media, coming on radio, telling us this, and no action on the ground in Navis, no action at the NIA Assembly. Not gonna help you all. These are the information you need to take in there. Shut down the assembly. Let them know it's unacceptable. Let people get arrested if that's what it takes. The lies on your side. When you get arrested and the lies on your side, they got to pay you in a free. Lock up no free when the lies on your side. You all need to do some political action. I believe in political action. There's a time for talking and there's a time for action. One thing about my grandmother, back in the days, as innocent as I may be, while she talking, this stick walking, and anything she catch, she driving my ass, You all could talk, but it's time for action. It's time to hit the streets. It's time for political action. It's time to go over by the NIA Assembly and let them know this is not going to fly. The people does not accept this. You are violating our laws. It is clear. You have it in black and white. What does it take for you all to get up off your all ass and go down there and demonstrate? That is what I want to know. Honorable Dr. Janice Daniel Hatch, what does it take for you to get your forces together and says, I am in the house, you all need to come down and support me. I am going into this assembly. I am objecting to this behavior by Premier Brantley and his team. I need you, the troops, to come down here and demonstrate. What does it take, Janice Daniel? I've said it to you privately, so now I'm telling you publicly. Love me, hate me, whatever you want to do. The niceness only work but so much. The smiles only work but so much. It comes a time where you got to get up and drive some stick in the ass of a dog for it to understand you mean business. It is time to stand up to Premier Brantley and let him know this constant violation of the laws of the NIA is not going to go anymore. It's unacceptable. That is why you was elected, Sister Janice Daniel Hatch. You are not on the outside of the parliament walls anymore. You are on the inside. Get your troops together. Respond to Mark Brantley the way he should be responded. I am giving you free advice. It's going to come a time where you're going to have to pay me for advice, Because it look like if you're not getting pay, you all don't listen to people. So if it's pay, you all have to pay me for you all to understand what needs to get done. We could get that contract going. Because this is bullshit. What I am seeing taking place on Navis is incomprehensible. You all are scholars. You all are lawyers. You all are doctors. You all are highly educated people. What does it take to wake up you all to tell you all that the approach that you're taking is not going to work. That you all have to fight the fight that Premier Brandt is bringing to you. Fight him on his ground. Fight him in Parliament. Show them where it's wrong. And whoever is running that Parliament or chairing the meeting, if they don't want to follow the laws, then you bring the federal government in. But don't sit down at home watching your television and come call on the Prime Minister and call on the NGOs and call on the AG Lord. What Mark do up here? We don't like it. You need to come save us. Save my ass. Get all your ass up and do all your work. Get all your ass up off all your backside and go out there and stand up to Mark Brantley. Then, and only then, you will see some action. Let's continue listening to the On Target.
So, I have to ask one question of the Speaker of the House, and I have to ask one question of the leader of government business, the Premier. Where is the report generated by the Integrity in Public Life Commission? Where are the reports? There should be 5. At minimum 4. But where are they? What is so contained in them that you don't want to put them before the House for discussion? Because by law you are required to do such.
Because the regulation did not give them any right to withhold any part.
No, you can't.
You must present it the way
you
it was
must
presented.
present it to the House, to all the parliamentarians in the House, for review
the way it
and
was
discussion.
To them.
So where, Mr. Premier, and all those you like to promote bullshit and try to hide behind all sort of fancy words and obscure events. Simple question. Where are the reports from the Commission? Why haven't they been laid before the House? Why? I want to...
Mr. Daly, again, you all have all of these facts. You all have all of these laws that they have been violated by the Premier and his team. Why? Your leader, the Dr. Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge, walks into Parliament to get into any debate with that unconstitutional government. That is the first mistake that she made. The matter is still being litigated in court. That's not a legitimate government. The CCM government is not legitimate until the final matter in court is settled. That is in the first instance. The second instance, with all of these wrongs that you all are pointing out, which are valid, why you all in the visions, the people on the ground, why you all are not down there creating a mess? When you create the mess, let the government, federal government get involved. If you all quiet, nobody gonna do nothing. If you all create the unrest, the federal government must get involved. Which part of that you all don't understand? Everything that you all talking about here makes sense. You got everything on your side, the lies on your side. Why you all so quiet? And that's the question I'll continue asking. Let's continue listening.
Read into the record a letter. I hope I have it here.
Take your time.
A letter written by our party leader, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge. I hope I didn't leave it on my desk by mistake. But it had to do with her requesting a investigation into the Spencer Brand matter. I think I have it here. Oh, Lord. Don't tell me I left it on my desk. I have so many papers.
The fellas say you don't read.
I think I left it on my desk. Sorry, folks.
I understand.
But it was a letter written by our party leader. Oh, here it is. Dated July 4th, 2022. Attention, Attorney Ricardo Keynes, Chairman of the Integrity Public Life Commission, Mr. Sidney Newton, Commissioner, Mr. Alfred Tewell, Commissioner. Dear Mr. Keynes, as political leader of the oldest political organization in the island of Nevis, known as the Nevis Reformation Party, I, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, hereby utilize the complaint mechanism established for the Integrity Commission under Public Life Ordinance number 2 of 2013 to file a formal complaint in good faith against the elected member of Nevis administration. The detailed information relevant to the person complained about and has conduct of possibly alleged breach of provisions of the ordinance is provided for your perusal in the paragraph below. In the Prime Minister's press conference held 29 June 2022 by Prime Minister Timothy Harris, Minister of Finance in the Federal Cabinet of St. Christopher Nevis, Prime Minister Harris made the following statement to members of the media fraternity, and I quote, "A member of the Mark Brandy cabinet, Spencer Brand, is also a developer in the CBI program, and Spencer Brand project came to the cabinet, supported by the NIA, for us to get them shares. Is it the government is funding Spencer Brand project? I think it's about $44 million US. Is it that the federal government will take up 109 near 120 million on the EC to fund Spencer Brand project?" End quote. The matter recently reported by Prime Minister Harris concerning Minister Brand has not sat well with the general public. The people of Nevis are genuinely concerned about whether or not there was a deal, a clear deal, and an obvious breach of the integrity legislation. Therefore, on behalf of the people of Nevis, we are humbly requesting the Commission makes an assessment of this complaint and thereafter expedite the authorization of an investigator or team of investigators to conduct a full and independent investigation of this matter brought to your attention. The Integrity in Public Life Ordinance provides a fair, objective, and a code of conduct for public officials to discharge their duties in order to achieve public confidence, and that public officials can also stand up to close public scrutiny. Indeed, it is the expectation of public officials in the NIA to meet the highest standards of conduct when carrying out their public functions. All right? Therefore, in the overall interest of ensuring the principles of transparency and good governance in public office, the people of Nevis are expecting the Commission to respond favorably to the request made by Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge to conduct an investigation on the matter on behalf of the constituents and people of Nevis. We believe an investigation of the matter is in the best interest of the people of Nevis. The NRP therefore remains hopeful that our expectation for a full and independent investigation is to be highly regarded by the Commission, and that the conclusion of the investigation, the constituents and people of Nevis will be comfortable with the Integrity Commission's discharging of its official duties. All right, so it goes on a little bit more. But basically, essentially what Dr. Hodge is saying, and the letter was copied too, Dr. Carla Barnett, CARICOM Community Secretariat, CARICOM, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, Prime Minister, St. Christopher Nevis, Attorney General Garth Wilkin.
Garth?
Attorney General, remember this letter is dated July.
No, but this is the Prime Minister Harris.
Why is it called to go Garth Wilkin?
It should be Byron.
Oh, the Bar Association.
The Bar.
Yeah.
Garth Wilkin of the Bar.
Attorney Garth Wilkin, the St. Christopher Nevis Bar, Miss Patricia Claxton, SKN CIC, Miss Giselle Matthews, SKN CIC, Nevis, St. Christopher Nevis Evangelical Association. I don't know why she bother copy them for.
No.
St. Kitts and Nevis Christian Council, not a waste of time.
No.
Oh, Mr. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline, Mr. Ali Gilbert, 2020 Vision Radio, Mr. Junior Live with Freedom, Mr. Robert Hubbard Vaughan, Mr. Clyde Backus Win. Right? So she copied all those. I've never heard a single one of those entities
utter a word
of any utter even a sentence in support of or disagreement with what Dr. Janice Hodge was requesting. But here's the matter, because we have strayed quite a bit away from the key point here. Here's the situation. In speaking to another good friend of mine who has to report on Nevis to the Integrity in Public Life, he asked a very important question. Why do we have two integrity in public life commissions?
Good question, Dr. Daly. That is the concern I am having. Why you have a premier of Navis, the sister island, who is the leader of the opposition in the federal cabinet, supporting the integrity in public life and freedom of information at the federal level, which supersedes the local government in Navis? Why you guys pussyfooting with Premier Brantley about this nonsense trying to change laws in the assembly and Navis so that he could appoint someone on that committee? Why don't you guys fight like hell to make sure that there is only one committee that governs the entire body, where you all could really get some teeth and get some answers to what is taking place on Navis? Why are you guys so lackadaisic, sitting back on your ass and complaining about everything that someone else is not doing while you're not helping yourself? Does not change anything. While you guys are talking, Premier Brantley is doing his work to undermine you all. Action. You know what the song say? Action speaks louder than words. Your action will stop Premier Brantley in his tracks. But if you guys are going to just continue speaking and there's no action to what you're saying, the party continues.
Exactly.
Why do we have to? Why do people on Navis have to report to the Integrity and Public Life Commission on Sinkits, but those in Sinkits don't have to report to those in Navis? Why? Why do we have to? Why duplicate the commission? Why duplicate the commission? Bear in mind that the Federal Act, 2013 Federal Act, supersedes the NIA ordinance.
So the one in Navis doesn't really value.
Again, Brother Daly, the conversation, the word supersedes. Then why you are playing around with Premier Brantley, what's taking place on Navis? Why you all are not hitting the streets, taking the fight to them? Why is the people of Navis so quiet at home? They like what's going on. There's a song say you like it so. So I guess you all like it so. And New Year's coming, you know, Brother Daly. And New Year's coming. And I really want to see a change in the approach of how you all deal with the politics on Navis. Premier Brantley in his campaign, you know, advised us to stay out the politics of Navis because we don't understand it. And I have to give him this much credit. Right now, I don't understand it. Because I don't understand what you all are so afraid of. What is about the politics in Navis? What's about Premier Brantley that you guys just sit back and just talk with no action? What is it? Because talking ain't gonna do it. I guarantee, I could tell you all, the farmer administration, the team unity administration had until 2025 before election is called again. And through this program here, I challenge Dwyer that election will take place in 2022. And I could remember Dwyer asked me, Jeffroy, election just took place last year in 2020. We're in 2021. How are you going to have election in 2022? And my response to Dwyer was, Dwyer, and I used the terminology of Big Stone because that was Curtis Cook mantra. He was calling all of them Big Stone. So I asked Dwyer the question. I said, Dwyer, there's some big stone around Old Road Big. Do you think DJ Morrishaw can go around there and pick up one of those stones and bring it in his yard in St. Paul's? And the answer was no. I said, but if DJ Morrishaw get a 2-pound hammer, a chisel, and a bucket, and go around there every night and chip off some and bring it and throw it in my yard in St. Paul's. Don't you think eventually I will get that stone in the yard? He said, yes. Well, we know the end result to that. I chip away. Many of us chip away. I march on the streets of Bastia by myself because I was denied the opportunity to march with a group. People say I was crazy. I must go back where I come from. I'm mashing up the country. A week later, I was allowed a march with a lot of fight. Up to when they approved the march from 3 to 6. By 5 o'clock, they shut me down. But we have a change of government today because we were persistent and many people that work with me. I cannot remember everybody's name offhand, but to mine, I could remember the Talk Puppy. I could remember Duncan Watley, the Big Lice. I remember Douglas Watley, the brother, Larry Vaughan, Dwyer Astafan, Ira McMahon, Dr. Martin, Sam Conda, the baby from the baby mouth, wherever his name is there, EK, Curtis Cook, and a bunch of other people started crying out. I had many people over the years on this program fighting the cause. Dr. Joe at the time went down to government headquarters. When I was thinking I'm going down there to demonstrate, he was down there by himself. There's pictures all over social media with the police there in the fatigue, telling Dr. Joe he got to move. Those were the days. I had many people supporting me. Many people was against me. They said I was mashing up the country. As a matter of fact, I have a good friend there in New York, but she's a closer friend to Alva than myself. When I hit the march down at the mission in New York, she didn't care about what going on in St. Kitts. She sent me a message, want to know, what is this she's saying if I know anything about it? A march at the mission, demonstration, and this is COVID time. They didn't care about the country. But today, they're front and center. They're benefiting, their hands up, put not on board, whether cardboard or weaver board or plywood or whatever they got. They're on board. The same people them that was cussing me. Tell me go back where I come from. I want to mash up the country. God bless his soul, Rudy Morton, promoting. I think he might have been one of the first person that sent me a thank you note. So you did it. You see, you helped us save our country. Dr. Joe as well messaged me and thanked me for my work. Some people want to forget history. Sam Conde said to me in this program that I will go down in history for my work. Whether they put me in a history book or not, social media has the history, anybody can get it there. And I'm not going to give up now. I am not going to give up on Navis. But I am saying to you, the people of Navis, and I'm saying to you, the leaders and spokespersons for the divisions, your approach is not working. You have exhausted that approach. Try something different. The political action, it's time to get physical. It's time to get on the street. Remember, there's a song like that, you know, let's get physical. It's time to get on to your thing. The funny thing about life, Sugar Mass coming up in a couple of weeks. And many of Univision gonna put on your tongues and your strapless and your bottomless, and you're gonna come down and bend over and shake all over the streets of Bastia. You are gonna find time to do that. But Carnival is 2 weeks. When that 2 weeks is over, you're going back to deal with Baby Brantley up there, Mark Brantley, Premier Brantley, whoever you find when you go back. You're gonna still be doing the things that he's doing now if you all don't deal with the matters. This is not time for playing around. This is not time to ignore the noise. This is the time to light fire where fire is. Do not be like the fire truck in Navis that could not operate to out the fire down at the Four Seasons. Be a fire truck that is operational. Put out the fire on Navis. Put out Premier Brantley and the CCM out of government. That fire been burning for too long. And you can't use no water, you know, because chemical is in that fire. You cannot use no water to out that fire. You got to use foam or universal liquid, whatever you want to use. But that fire is too hot, burning too hot now. There's too much that is going on in the NIA for you all to ignore. DJ Morrishaw speaking to you all, you know. DJ Morrishaw is ready to rumble, but not for you, with you. DJ Morrishaw will not fight for you, but with you. So let's continue listening.
That's a good question. The difficulty I have is that the people on Navis are required to file twice. But the people in St. Kitts are required to only file once. There are 5-member commission in St. Kitts. There are 3-member commission in Navis. For what I understand, the office in St. Kitts is much more funded, heavily funded than the one in Navis. But why do we have 2?
One does not make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense to have 2. And the disturbing thing is, the ordinance is different to the act in St. Kitts. The ordinance in Navis has been basically gutted out. You don't believe me?
It doesn't have the same kind of power like the one in St. Kitts.
I want to. Where is it? I want to read something for you. Page 21. You think I'm joking when I tell you these things?
And tell the listeners what you're reading from.
I'm reading from the Integrity Ordinance Navis.
Okay.
Right? And it speaks to conflict of interest. Conflict of interest.
A conflict with interest.
Whichever one.
Both.
A conflict of interest arises from a situation in which a person in public life has a private interest which is such to influence or appear to influence the impartial and objective performance of his or her official duties. Right? Skip down a little bit. Since a person in public life is usually the only person who knows whether he or she is in that situation, he or she has a personal responsibility to 1, be alert to any actual potential conflict of interest, B, take steps to avoid such conflict, C, disclose to his or her supervisor any such conflict as soon as he or she becomes aware of it, and D, comply with any final decision to withdraw from the situation or to divest himself or herself of the advantage caused in the conflict. Here the kicker. Whenever required to do so, a person in public life should declare whether or not he or he has a conflict of interest. Gentlemen, did you hear me read any penalty ascribed to this piece of legislation having to do with conflict of interest?
No.
Did you hear me?
No.
Did any of the listeners hear me say that there are penalties ascribed to any breach of conflict? None.
No.
So go and do as you like.
This is what happened to the legislation. This, when I tell you this legislation has been gutted, has no teeth. This is what we're talking about.
So you're saying
it's a slap on the wrist.
The one in St. Kitts has penalty attached,
Big
but the
time.
one in Navis has no penalty attached. That's what we want the people to know.
This is just a piece of paper. This is just a piece of paper.
You say, Dr. Daly, I hope you're listening to me. I hope you guys are listening to me. The same way that you all are going through these documents and you're reading the law is in black and white. The law is on your guys' side. It's on the people's side to get up and walk into your house. The parliamentary house and Navis, where they're trying to change these laws, your house, you put them there. You guys have the right to walk in there and shut it down. You all are not doing anything. So the same way you're talking about that piece of paper with no teeth, you all could talk all you all want, unless you all decide to get up off your ass and go down there and show the people that you are not going to take no more of this bullshit. It's just the same as a piece of paper you're holding on a teeth. No action. Premier Brantley and his team have nothing to worry about because they know they look forward to seeing you all on a Thursday evening talking. They look forward to seeing you all on a Saturday afternoon talking, and that's all it is. They have nothing to fear about. Fear not. This is my issue. Try something new. It's time to demonstrate political action. Too many violations. Things gone too far. It's time to make a different move, gentlemen. The talk is good. You're educating the people. But what you're not doing is mobilizing and getting the people to hit the street. When you're going to be blaming everybody else but the people of Nevis, you're not getting anywhere. The people of Nevis need to get up off their backside. Get up and hit the streets. Those people that are functioning in the NIA, those people in the assembly should not walk the street comfortable. They should not be conducting no meeting comfortable. You guys need to shut it down. Let them bring the army and the police. Let them know that's something you keep. They cannot be doing things so quietly and you all just sit back, oh, Navis don't do them kind of thing. The Navis is not rowdy people. We are nice people, nice my ass. DJ Morrishaw is nice too. You can't find a nicer fella. But just don't step on my toe. And we're good. Don't disrespect me and we're good. Right? So let's continue listening.
All this is meant to do is to say we have a piece of legislation. They're underfunded, they're understaffed, the legislation has been corrupted beyond belief, it has been watered down beyond belief, and this is what passes as integrity in public life.
No,
and you know something? Boy, my boy Ira must be glad. Ira, you're glad me ain't paying attention, you know. I just realized it's after 8 o'clock. DJ Morrishaw looking at doing overtime against tonight. But that wasn't the plan. The plan was to sign up promptly at 8 p.m. in Ivor. Promptly at 8 p.m. I should be shutting down tonight. Because I received a message from Dr. Rollins earlier. He's traveling. He got stuck in Barbados last night. He's supposed to be on his way back to St. Kitts this evening. So he asks, could I reschedule him for next Wednesday? I tell him no problem. So I said, let me just do my little short thing tonight and just 8 o'clock, take a rest. But I am nowhere close finishing this clip, and I got some music to jam and everything tonight. So, brother, Ivor, you catch me again tonight, partner. You catch me one more time. One more time. Let's continue listening to the clip.
We're talking about conflict of interest. Our premier is the beneficial owner of a law firm on the island of Navis. He has the authority to grant license and waivers and duty-free concessions and what's not. Persons who are coming into the country want to do business go through his business, his law firm, to present to him again as the person in charge proposal for these benefits where he has to grant. Isn't that conflict, double conflict, triple conflict of interest? It sounds so to me, it looks so to me.
The Premier is the minister for Neville. The Premier's law firm, which he owns fully, is on retainer with Neville for $8,000 a month. In the last Nisbet scandal, it became obvious how the conflict worked against the best interests of Navis. Because Neville was owed over $220,000 by a now bankrupt company, which is represented by the Premier's law firm. Neville did not learn of the bankruptcy through DBA or Daniel Brantley. It learned through by some other means. They had to hire another lawyer to represent themselves in court to try and get back their money.
While they're paying a lawyer to represent them.
All right? This is the matter. So we lost out. The Premier is also the Minister of Finance. Minister of Finance. Right? But yet, Nisbet was allowed to owe $3.5 million in property taxes and walk away from it. Water Department was owed near $70,000 and were allowed to walk away. So almost $4 million in the people's money gone because the Premier cannot separate himself from his business.
But Kelly, isn't this also good material for review and study and investigation by the public, by the integrity in public life?
If they had the teeth, if they had the manpower.
Because it seems to me as if you can't be on both sides of the, you can't be with the seller and the buyer. And based on what you just read in relation to the conflict of interest, that is not only conflict, it seems like conflict of interest to me, it is conflict with interest.
Let's do something else.
But before you move on to something else, because you came to this point of discussing here because you said you listened to somebody and it's well like eating grass and gravel and grass battle and all kind of thing one time. What was said? What did the individual said who you say you listened to? Because that is what took you to
you mean in response to what I told him that should be done?
No, what he was saying that caused you to come to this point. You said that the minister for
he was still defending the Premier's right to name the third party because there's dysfunction in NRP. So that is their pretext. That give them the right to.
That's foolishness.
But here, that moves right now into the third argument. What I regard, and this is my opinion, what I regard as a constitutional crisis right here in Navis. Constitutional crisis right here in Navis. For the third time that I know of. In 1987, there was a similar situation, identical situation, in the NIA.
Correct.
Navis Island Assembly. Right? Correct. And the Deputy Governor General, in order to try to rectify that, appointed Mr. Fred Paris.
Yes.
To sit.
83.
83. So I got the date wrong. It's 83.
83.
All right? 83. And Danny is a historian, so I believe him. He got dates in his head. He's always good at dates.
Yes, that is when we get governance.
Yeah, I wasn't born yet, so 83 is good.
Young still.
Yeah. So in 1983, there was an impasse where there was only one member on the opposition benches, and one member can't name themselves to be leader of the opposition.
But back in 83, there was none. There was
none.
The Constitution says that the country must have somebody.
Yeah, I'll get into that. Yes. So that was 87 then, when Fred Paris was appointed?
No,
83.
83.
Okay, fine, 83.
All the seats were with NRP.
All right, so 83, Mr. Fred Paris was on the opposition benches. In 97.
In 87.
Yes, 97 now with Linnell.
With Linnell Nolan.
Yes.
87, Vance Emery.
Vance Emery was 87.
Yeah, Vance Emery was 87.
Alone.
All right?
Yeah.
So, Linnell Nolan came.
97.
97. All right? Here we are in 2023. Same thing. One member in the opposition for NRP, one unknown, and 3 parliamentarians. Okay?
Unknown, you got it. That is an NRP vote sitting down the farming fool.
Okay. Let's stick to the argument here.
Yeah.
That's my argument.
So Brantley's argument that since there is no leader of the opposition, then he is seeking to amend the IPL to give him the power or the right to name the third member.
Dictatorship.
The office, let me say this as clearly and as slowly as possible so it can sink into people's minds and their consciousness. The office of the leader of the opposition is a constitutionally recognized office. And the issue of appointment must not be left in doubt.
Yeah.
In other words, the Constitution, the St. and Nevis Constitution, must be amended
in order
for the duties of the office of the opposition to be effected. What Brantley is choosing to do is to avoid a mechanism that seeks to settle the issue of the office of the leader of opposition by simply saying, you know what, I want an amendment to the IPL and not to the St. Nevis Constitution.
Again, gentlemen, Brother Daly, you guys are confusing matters. A government is elected to represent the people. In areas where the government is not doing what the people wishes, the people demonstrate to that government, we're not accepting this. The people that lives on Navis is more than the 3 or 5 people in the NIA assembly. You all want to cross the narrows to talk about amend the Constitution over there. You don't have to go that far. The pressure must be applied right there at the NIA assembly. Get up off all your backside and go down there and demonstrate to the powers that be that we're not standing for this. The federal government must get involved. When they see the unrest, they must get involved. They must do what they have to do. You all seem to forget something, you know. Earlier this year, there was a matter that you all spoke about, where there was a case in which the NIA, I guess, lost a case where they cannot be sued and nobody can sue them. The matter was hanging from the former administration. I look at that matter taken to Parliament at the federal level. I look at Premier Brandt to lead the charge and get the amendment done in one day. 3 readings. 3 readings in one day. That amendment was done to reverse the situation where now the NIA can sue someone and anyone can sue the NIA. That was done in 3 readings in one day. That is what Premier Brantley was able to accomplish. Whether it's in a better way for the NIA or not, or for the people of Navis, I do not know. But that was done in one day. With pressure from the people of Navis to the NIA assembly, to the Premier. Now you could get anything you want. Get up off of your lazy backside. Stop asking for people to come to save you when you can save yourselves. This is not a situation where you cannot save yourself. The Nevisians and Navis can save themselves from Premier Brantley and the CCM if they really want to. Get up off of your lazy backside. Let's continue listening.
Right? Which is equally easy to do because it's a majority. Who in St. Kitts will oppose? There are 11 members. Who in St. Kitts will oppose a constitution that allows the opposition of the leader, the office of the leader of the opposition, to be sorted through once and for all? Who in St. Kitts on the parliamentary floor who could put an argument to us here in Navis that this is not important, that we don't need a leader of the opposition, even though the work of the leader of the opposition is constitutionally mandated, is constitutionally provided for, and is constitutionally protected.
But you know, Kel, there is something which we very often. It's one way to go to look at the letter of the law, but there is also the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law must say to the Premier, must say to the Premier, look, the party that commands the largest number of votes in the opposition Laws don't just happen in a vacuum.
Hensley, with all respect.
No. But we when laws flow from moral and ethical
Hensley, with all respect, I don't give a flying shit at this point in time. I don't give a flying shit about. Hold on, me finish. I don't give a flying shit about any. What is it? Spirit of the law.
I'm just saying
this has occurred too many times. This requires a fix.
Brother Daly, this required a fix. How are you guys gonna fix it? Screaming at the top of your voice on your program on a Saturday afternoon. That is how it's gonna get fixed. Coming on a Thursday evening and screaming at each other. That is how it's gonna get fixed. I can assure you it's not gonna get fixed that way. Premier Brantley has enjoyed the opportunity, the way you all function. You all speak on a Thursday evening. He laugh it off. You all speak on a Saturday evening. He laugh it off. He keep committing offenses after offenses. You all talk about it. He laugh it off. How is it gonna get fixed? If you guys don't change the approach and demand that it gets fixed, hitting the streets, hitting the NIA assembly, making sure that the unrest is that detriment, is that serious, that the federal government must step in. Nevision must stand up for Navis. You got to represent yourself. Don't stay in your house and cry out for people to come save you. Come out your house and save yourself. Your house is burning down on your inside. You got all kind of doors and windows, but you're not coming out to try to save your house. You're in there crying to save you on the inside while the house burn. But they're gonna burn to death with you in there. Navis, the island of Navis is gonna burn to death if you are gonna continue down the road you're all doing. I could see it's everything that is wrong. You all know what is wrong. You all spell it out on this program. It's in the clip. Everything that you're all saying is there. The violations are there. But talking is not enough. Talking have not worked thus far. Action, political action is required. If you guys don't know how to do it, I got some ideas. Got some very good ideas. I institute them in the former administration for the federal government. And it worked. It's bear fruits, as you can see we have a new government. So it's up to you guys. But this approach, screaming at each other, you want it fixed. How are we gonna get fixed? You're driving your car down the road, you get a flat tire. You sit down and take out your bottle and you're cussing the car and screaming. I need the tire fix. But if somebody ain't change the tire, you're not moving in a place, you know. And right now, Navis have more than one flat tire. I can tell you all the tires are flat. Maybe even the spear might be flat. Because who is in government ain't doing squat positively. What they're doing is destroying the economical situation in the country. And who is in a position for you to stand up? Because we don't do it this way. One thing I've been hearing since I've been in the Federation of St. Kitts Navis, which I don't understand. Mr. Morrishaw, you know, that is not the process. That is not how we do it. This is the process. But if you have a process that you've been using and you're not getting results from that process, in time that you change that process. If your recipe that you are using is not working out, in time you change your recipe. If you're doing something and every time you're doing it, you're hurting yourself. In time that you take a different approach, ask for help. What is wrong with our people here in the Federation of St. Kitts Navis? Are we going to give Ian Patches Libod the truth fact when you say 98% of us fail a common sense test? Because I know we're not lack of education. Education-wise, I think we're the best in the region. But reasoning, critical thinking, and common sense seems to miss us somewhere along the way. Somewhere along the way, we have a problem with critical thinking. I have been through the alleys, the valleys, the bushes. I've been into the dungeons. I've been into the confined spaces. And for the life of me, I really don't understand what is in the minds of the people of St. Kitts Nevis. I got a 6-year-old baby in New York I have a conversation with, and I'm getting a better conversation out of her than I get out of adults. Something got to be wrong with us. Every time you try to show people the light, they try to show you something different without even trying. Oh, Mr. Morrishaw, we don't do it that way. Oh, Mr. Morrishaw, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Well, since you keep making the mistake, let's try it my way. And when you try it my way, I guarantee you, you will be successful, you will see fruits. Because you have been failing for long enough. So let's try something differently. Let's continue listening.
Mistakable, unequivocal, very clear fix. And the fix is easy. You go to the Parliament in St. Kitts, you put an amendment to the Constitution, you bring it to the floor 1, 2, 3 times, it is done. And the fix is, in the occasion that there is no leader of the opposition because of the numbers on the opposition benches, then the Deputy Governor General, in consultation with the members who have the most votes, second most votes in election, will determine who the third member is.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Simple as peas. I don't want to hear no damn shit about no moral argument. Fix the damn thing.
But you are assuming the laws don't just stand up on their own, because even so.
The last time, wait a minute, don't last up on their own.
No, what I'm saying is that who is going to lead the effort? Brantley?
Listen.
Who's going to lead the effort?
So we are going to allow Brantley to distort our constitution?
Is he going to lead the effort?
Listen, there are 3 members in the opposition. There are 3 members in the CCM contingent going to St. Kitts.
Yeah, and which of them?
You are trying to tell me none of them have any sense?
But you don't know that they're comfortable with what is.
I am going to tell you.
They're comfortable with the present situation. They're not going to do
but
it.
But enough people are not speaking out on it.
Then this is the key.
Listen, I made one little video, 5 minutes long, and it caused an uproar. Caused people to change. I am not parliamentarian. Caused an uproar. What I'm trying to tell you, there's power in people.
Of course, you know that.
And if enough people, if the Bar Association, if the SKNLP, if PLP, if PAM say, listen, we need to fix this crisis in Nevis, because it not only speaks to Nevis, it speaks to a constitutional issue that preventing the people of Nevis from being properly represented.
True. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Properly represented. The chairman of the Public Service Committee is the leader of the opposition. That is the most powerful
public
accounts committee, the most powerful committee anywhere. Dr. Hodge is supposed to be heading that. Where is she? Can't be seated. Cannot be seated. She is supposed to be able to name the 3rd member. Cannot be done. She has a say in the Boundaries Commission. Can't be done. What the hell are we talking about? Huh? Right. We're talking about a man who is simply bent on controlling the democratic process in Nevis to subvert it for his own benefit. And we are sitting down wondering, oh, what can we do?
No. We're not saying that. But
Come
I'm saying he is the person who is going to lead it. But he would lead it with pressure coming from all of the parties involved.
Listen, all right? I understand both of your argument. The spirit of the law is important. That's why we have so many cases in the United States that they'll tell you, listen, the frame was meant that and could not have mean this and all kind of thing. That's spirit. Okay? When you has honest people with integrity to deal with, then you could deal with spirit of the law.
Mm-hmm.
When you have people who are crooks and tricksters and has all kind of thing, there is no spirit of the law. We need hard laws. And Dr. Daly is right.
Yeah.
We need to get the hard laws that says this is it. In Barbados, it was not there. But
Brother Tulu, let me just haul and pull up a bit here. Dr. Daly is not right. Brother Hensley Daniel is correct. You have 3 members of the Navis concerned citizen in the federal cabinet. Premier Brantley is the leader of the opposition who should bring any matters on behalf of the opposition in the federal cabinet. When Brother Daly is calling on PAM and the NGO and the PLP and all of these people to bring amendment to the Constitution. Maybe you guys wasn't paying attention in the last administration, the team unity, when the former Prime Minister said the only thing that Premier Brantley brought to cabinet to be addressed was something to do with the CBI for brand, for his investment in some hotel or whatever he was going to build in Navis. These people, they are not feeling the pain that the Nevisians are feeling. They are comfortable in their skin. Timothy is okay. Sean is okay. Mark Brantley and his tree is okay. Which one of them going to bring any amendment to this Constitution without pressure from the division? You all are calling on the dark horse. The horse not seeing you all, you know. You all have to make noise for the horse to see you all because you all in the dark. The horse not hearing you all. You cannot depend on Premier Brantley and his 2 ministers to bring any matter to change Constitution that's not going to benefit them. They're only going to bring things that benefit them. I asked the question before, I'm going to ask it again. While you all out there crying out loud and saying this person ain't doing this and this person ain't doing that, has the leader of the NRP, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, bring this particular matter to any member of the opposition? Maybe she's not getting along with Mark Brantley and the others. Have she brought it to the attention of Sean Richards? Have she brought it to the attention of Timothy Harris and asked them to do something for an amendment at the federal level? Have she reached out to the Bar Association or any of the NGOs to put pressure on the government or any of them to try and get this constitutional amendment to deal with the situation? And I still don't believe in that approach. The approach that I believe in is for the people of Navis to get up off their ass and go down where the NIA assembly is taking place and demand that the bullshit stop. They run the country. The government work for them, not they work for the government. Let's continue listening.
Mrs. Motley said, the spirit of the law in the defense of democracy, even though the Constitution gives me the right to do this, I don't think that is proper. And so therefore, I am going to go the other way to give the other. Here, these guys are trying to say, we are going to circumvent this to make sure that we control the whole thing. It is wrong. It is morally wrong. It is ethically wrong. Maybe it might be legal. Well, they're trying to make it legal.
The same people, you don't think that the CCM people have an interest in keeping the thing as it is?
Yes.
They do. So what has to happen? The pressure has to come elsewhere.
That's what Daly is saying.
The pressure has to come elsewhere. And if it doesn't go, well, look, we talk about the hard law. You really believe it's correct for the law firm owned by a minister of government to represent the electricity company, which is owned by the government?
That is what Daly is saying. We need to put laws in place because based on what he read, there is no penalty in Navis for what he's doing. So he can't do it because there's no penalty. If there was penalty for what he's doing, he wouldn't have done it.
Are you aware of the response that the chairman of Integrity Commission wrote back to Dr. Hodge in response to this letter?
No, please. You have it?
You don't have no idea what it is?
No.
Share it with me if you have it.
I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm told is that in colloquial, in layman language, sorry, we can't investigate. We have no powers to investigate. End of story.
No powers to investigate?
That is what, if I'm wrong, correct me. But that is what I've heard. All right? So,
that's your homework to find out about what the response.
You can't have no power to investigate. You mad? So what is the purpose of the commission?
Okay.
To take the information.
All right. Now,
transfer to St. Kitts then.
I want to read again, not read it in total, but there are enough civil organizations on this list here presented by Dr. Hodge.
Of course.
To the Integrity Public Commission. There's enough power. Dr. Carla Barnett, CARICOM Community Secretariat.
Yeah, she's Secretary General.
The Honorable Timothy Harris, who is now on the opposition benches, he can bring a conversation. The Attorney General now is in the government's position. All right? You still have a bar association, so they're still active. There is Christian Council, evangelical associations. It goes on and on. And then this is not exhaustive by any means. So why is it that nobody or no group has seen fit to challenge on this matter that we are so passionate about to make sure there's a leader of the opposition?
Not even the present Attorney General, because I will have to go back and get it again. But the question was posed to him in relation to that very same amendment they're trying to put in Navis. He did not condemn it. I expected him to say, listen, this doesn't sound right, it doesn't look right. After there. But he didn't say that. He almost like, for me, from what I gather, is just a what are you talking about? Dismiss it.
I am glad you brought this Gatorade towards Quencher, because I swear if I didn't have this, the amount of energy I don't put out in this one conversation, I'll collapse on this floor.
No, but I just wanted to say also, Navis, the Nevisians, what we're doing here is to say to the Nevisian, look, the responsibility lies with you, the civil service organizations and all the other people involved. Look at what happened in Israel before this war with Hamas. It's 100,000 people on the street for a year and a half. Why? Similar to what is being attempted here by CCM. The Prime Minister wants to determine the role of how the judiciary is constituted, and he wants himself alone to be able to overturn decisions of the judiciary. And even the generals said they're not going to fight for no country we led by somebody like this. And all I'm saying is that the interest must be the same in Navis, because if one person is allowed to determine, so he's going to determine who sits on the Public Service Commission, on the Integrity Commission, and he's going to water it down to suit himself. And we are going to stand up and say,
well, folks, that's the end of that clip with Brother Daly and Brother Henry Daniel. And I would say in closing to that clip again, you, the people of Navis, you have to stand up to Premier Grantley. You guys, the lies on your side. Talking is not going to fix the matter. It's time for some action. But when we speak about action, let me just update you on some action taking place this Saturday with my boy there, my brother Scorpio King, out of Sadler's Village. It says the 7th annual Venomous Passion birthday bashment. And it's going to be taking place this Saturday from 9 p.m. right over there in the Sadler's Village area. My boy Scorpio King, brother Thomas Mason, who resides in St. Martin, he's in town celebrating his birthday, and the entertainment going to be mass. You're going to have people like Extortion Sound, De Jour, Hellfire International, DJ Caldo, EK the Wheelwright Entertainment, the Sugar Band International, Grandmasters Band, and this is all taking place at the Scorpio King's Place in Sadler's Village. That's this coming Saturday. You got tickets on sale. It's cost a little more at the door. So the numbers you can reach for tickets is 664-7449. You know, the area code is 869. So it's 664-7449, 763-1790. That's 763-1790. You got 663-1390, 663-1390, and you can get to Mervyn at the BCA as well, 664-2361. That's 664-2361. My folks, it's been a long night, and DJ Morrishaw is not going to take up much more of your evening because I want to allow Jetty and crew to go and listen to his favorite program, and he's not going to leave here until I sign off. So I'm going to drop a few tracks because it's Sugar Mass period, and we have some very good artist that has left us, and tonight I decided to pay some tribute to my brother there, the man, the late great Provoker, and this one is called the Saucepan. So I do not know if Jetty have any saucepan in the UK or wherever he is, but I know brother Nisbet around the world somewhere he got a saucepan. I want to say good evening to Haley Fitzgerald over there in Scotland. I hope the guys and the rest of the crew are doing well. So let me drop this one by the late great Provoker. Stand by.
Invite me to her home. She said, Provoker, I am home alone. She take me straight in she kitchen. She said she just finished cooking. She asked me if I want anything to eat. I simply said, oh, some meat. There's some meat right here and some sauce in that pan. You no spoon, no fork and no hand. Put them out in there, with your tongue in there. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. What you say? Put your mouth in there, with your tongue in there. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. Lick it out, drink it out, lap it out, suck it out. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. You're gonna like it when you do it. Yeah, Noni, lap it out, Noni. Lap it, boys. Do your thing. Lap on me, man. People favorite meat. She said, Provoker, you seem to be strong. I told her, please don't take me wrong. I enjoy eating pork, not lamb. Since I was small, I am eating it, and I'm gonna die doing it. I am not a Rasta man. I will eat if I can. I am not doing anything wrong. Put them out in there, with your tongue in there. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. What you say? Put your mouth in there, with your tongue in there. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. Lick it out, drink it out, lap it out, suck it out. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. You're gonna like it when you do it. Yes, we're gonna lick something for carnival. Lick it. Drink it, suck it, love it. After finish eating the meat, trying to take me mouth out the saucepan, she tapped me hard on me shoulder, said, provoker, what is wrong? I said, honey, I'm going to leave. Just really eat me meat, but to leave him back sauce in me precious saucepan. Don't leave no sauce in this pan. Put your mouth in there, with your tongue in there. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. What you say? Put your mouth in there, with your tongue in there. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. And lick it out, drink it out, lap it out, suck it out. Put your mouth and your tongue in the saucepan. You're gonna like it when you do it.
Oh,
lick
yeah.
it, drink it, lap it, suck it.
Yes, man, that's the one of the mighty provoker saucepan job there. And you know, what is amazing about this Calypsonian, I think they doesn't know when things gonna happen to them, you know. Because after those jamming for Carnival, the provoker sing a song about the one-room apartment, referring to the coffin or the casket when you pass away. And he took his leave after that, you know. So let me drop this one for all you folks out there who have nothing better to do but create strife. We are gonna leave here by will or by force. So I'm gonna introduce you to the one-room apartment that is awaiting all of us.
Where some people got plenty money, lands and property, they feel they better than everybody. Money is power, that is the savior. They even forget God, the creator. He is the one who have the handle. They could have will dismantle. No money or power could stop him when he call. I say no, nothing, nothing at all. There is a one-room apartment for each and every one of us. That one-room apartment, that apartment is a must. For that one-room apartment, we don't have to pay no rent. In that one-room apartment, we will lie until we dry, then turn to dust. That is the must. That is how God created all of us.
Yeah, man. That one-room apartment is awaiting all of us. Some of us might not get to it. We might get burned until the sun is out.
When we were born, we know one day we are going to die. Many of us don't know the reason why. We are all born in this world in sin. So we all have a certain time to live. If we didn't know the day or the other, we would live on this earth much better. Most of all, for God our Heavenly Father. Only He could make us live longer. There is a one-room apartment and every one of us. For that one home apartment. That apartment is a must. For that one home apartment. We don't have to pay no rent. In that one home apartment. We will lie until we dry, then turn to dust. That is a must. That is how God created all of us. We all must eat and drink and be happy and enjoy whatever we have in the cemetery. The apartment is dirt and concrete for we, that our soul could rest in peace. There is a one room apartment for each and every one of us. That one room apartment. That apartment is a must. For that one room apartment. We don't have to pay no rent. In that one room apartment. We will lie until we dry, then turn to dust. That is a must. That is how God created all of us.
Yes, I that is of the man Provoker. He's currently relaxing in his one-room apartment. So I want to say good evening to my boy, brother Thaddeus Deposwa. Hope all is well. Sister Ann Farrell Smith, hope all is well with you as well. I understand there's going to be a lot of saucepan available for Sugar Mars 52. Be careful that you guys don't get burned from the oil. Understand. I want to say good evening to Sister Nancy, Sister Linda. Hope you guys enjoying yourselves. Stacy and crew. Sister Tracy Jeffers, good evening. Hope all is well with you. Tracy Powell, Sister Tracy, General Tracy Mason. I know you're getting ready for your bashment there in Sadlers on Saturday. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Touching the man DJ Rabuka, the man Curtis Cook, the man EK. Brother Astafan, Dwight Astafan, Sam Conda, Dr. Martin, the man there, Ira McMahon, the man, Larry Vaughan, Douglas Watley, the big lies, the big jail, hope all is well with you, the mighty monarch, the man Ronnie Rascal, GQ, the man Via Galloway, 3 o'clock, the man there, Brother Twinkie, how about Sister Catherine Morris, Louis Morris, and the crew there. I also want to big up my son there, Jeffroy Jr. over there in the LA area. Hope all is well with your son. Jazette, how you doing? Hope all is well on that end. My uncle there, Eustace in St. Croix. My cousin there, Brother Kent Bunny in St. Thomas. Sister Pamela Benny, I hope all is well with you guys. Just about that time where I call it a night. So I want to also big up my brother there, Brother Mikey. Mikey Slack there, Navis. Thanks for your continued support, my brother, on accommodation. Sister Loretta over there at the Culturama Bar. The man Cabo. Hope all is well with you. Want to big up my engineer there, the man Brother Ike, for your continued support and keeping me alive and lively over the past 3 years and counting. And to the fourth one, want to big up Brother Elvin Ellie, the new technician on board. Thanks for all your assistance, my brother, your hard work. So good night to the wife. I look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future. The man Django. I got to say thank you for Django, you know. You guys, people come online nightly and they have a lot to say and a lot to do. And that is all, a lot of talking. Got to big up my boy Django. This is my third anniversary gift that I received from Django, my studio mic here for the podcast. I want to thank Django for investing in DJ Morrishaw. You know, we accept donations weekly. If you have a donation, you can send it in. The numbers are right there. You can do it via Zoom, via ZELLE, via Cash App, via PayPal. The accounts, you know, my numbers are there. You can check us out, keep us alive and lively. And also don't forget, we're still on the drive to transform over to the YouTube. So don't forget to log on to YouTube, hit the DJ Morrishaw channel. Once you get to the DJ Morrishaw channel, you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you're in. You will definitely get notification when we transform over to the YouTube. So again, just log on to the YouTube channel, find the DJ Morrishaw, hit that subscription button, and you hit that bell, and you're on board. I want to say good night to Sister Lynn. Hope all is well with you and your end. Ione Mitchum, Sister Fiona there in the UK, Sharon Smitten, my boy Julian Pemberton. I do not know whether you're in Navis washing down buildings this evening or you're in St. Kitts, but hope to wrap with you soon. A good friend of mine passed away. I did not remember the information last week. Officer Cotton, very prominent cricketer, very good partner. They traveled to New York with the Police Sports Club on several occasions where he participated with DJ Morrishaw Sports Club. He passed away. The funeral is going to be next Wednesday here in St. Kitts. So I am calling on the forces here in the St. Kitts Nevis area to support that family, and condolences to Brother Cotton and his family. Very lovely gentleman. Again, support businesses that support you. Support the Big Banana. Lovely gentleman. Support Sister Carmen Caterers Service. Don't forget she's daily over there at Shirlane, right across from the ferry terminal there in downtown Bastia. You can catch up in her in Boyd's right across from the Agara shop at the bus stop there on a Sunday. You get your lovely lunch, and let her know DJ Morrishaw sent you. I want to big up my boy, the man Marshall's in Frigate there as well. As we get into the closing tonight, I just want to say thank you again to your online viewers. I appreciate all of your support, logging on week after week for the past 3 years and counting. So just love. My mascot there, Sister Dorothy Allen, Sister Gwyneth Morrishaw, Beverly Morrishaw, and crew. Auntie Melva, my folks there in Tobago, Victor Beard, Gloria Beard, Melissa Beard and crew, Sister Deborah Wallace, Missionary Wallace, Roger Wallace, hope all is well. The man there, Daniel Chanel, hope all is well. Sister Chanel over there in Navis, was nice seeing you earlier. Hope all is well with your brother Cabo. Thanks again for the bread nut and the sarsaparilla. You keep DJ Morrishaw live and lively, and there's no other brother like you. All right, so thank God for a brother like you. As we get into this one is coming from the late great King Arrow, the unofficial anthem of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Until such time as we meet next Wednesday, at 6 p.m. St. Kitts time, 5 p.m. New York City time. Let's drop this track by the late great King Arrow. I want to say good evening to my cousin dear Gloria Hutchinson at Smart Fit over there in the old Simaco building next to Skelec and Central Street. Just tell her DJ Morrishaw sent you when you go there.
Your country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? Building a brand new nation, we'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Building a wall so massive or a bridge, don't care how small, as one tends to divide our people, the other unite us all. Unambitious men just cannot be a part of this community. Displaying selfishness, a total lack of interest. No, I said no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Oh yeah. Yes, and that brings us to the end of yet another wonderful night here in the DJ Morrishaw podcast. I want to say a special good night to Sister Cora Bennett. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for everything that you do. And it's a good evening to Sister Lorette Wharton. Have a blessed night as well. Sean Lewis, Gemini Nisbet. I also want to big up my uncle there, Joseph Emmanuel, there at Garvey's Estate. I want to thank you for all your support as well. Don't forget, folks, if you need some place to have a party, wedding, overnight stay, whatever, don't forget to check Uncle Joseph there at the Garvey's Estate. He is easily accessible and prices are very reasonable for the use of the Garvey's Estate. So don't hesitate to give him a call. His number is area code 869-668-1392. That's area code 869-668-1392. Also, I want to big up my boys there at Island Purified Water, the water people in Newton Ground St. Kitts. Brother Powell there, the man Scatter. I want to thank you for keeping DJ Morrishaw hydrated whenever I am in the Federation of St. Kitts Navis. Enough respect to the man Ivor Henry, the man Eustace P. Henderson, and crew. Thanks for your continued support, my folks. As usual, I apologize that I cannot call all those list of names nightly, but I promise you that I appreciate you guys logging on week after week, night after night. I also want to wish our Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Joe, safe passage wherever he is at the moment, and look forward to seeing him on the return safely. My good people, stay blessed and stay safe. Have a good night, and may God bless you and our beloved